Hello, Internet.
Hello.
Hello, Internet.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back again. We've been running for about half an hour, and in that time, we've discovered some secret notes and some treasure within what might be an adjoining treasure house to a shrine of Mars, the god of thieves. This place is connected to the Underdark, as evidenced by the fact that there is a well here that leads directly to an Underdark river. And indeed, um, this place was built by dwarves hundreds of years ago, maybe about 500 years ago, and this would have served as an exit for them, as well as a place for them to get fresh water. They would have been able to live in two worlds: the surface and the subterranean area. Um, within this hold, so that's great. Um, We haven't sorted through the treasure yet, but it looks pretty considerable, consisting as it does of coins and jewels and works of art.
Yeah, I'd be going through that.
All right. You find no scorpions nor acid traps, nor does the halfling statue animate and attack you.
I appreciate that.
Well, who wants to
You'll
roll the
notice.
coin?
Yeah,
I'll go for it. Hello.
Hey,
Electrum pieces, like the evil coins and.
Not many glass beads.
I mean, they're only worth a copper, so that's fine to roll low on that one.
Yeah, but the marbles. The marbles are cool.
Got buttons.
Right, now for a big roll, the dragon bone opals.
One. Yeah.
No, yeah, why?
I cursed it.
Yeah, and then finally the fox pelts. There we go. That's all the rollable loot.
alright. You'll notice a few books there. They're each pretty interesting. The Grimoire of the Apprentice is designed for low-level wizards who want to have a well-rounded knowledge of basic spells.
Oh, nice.
Do we have a wizard?
I don't believe so.
I think so. the Arms and Equipment Guide, which might take a little bit of reading to understand, but is basically a guide to creating just about whatever you want. Advancing technology, maybe.
Shame we
Sounds
don't.
like an artisan book.
Shame we don't know any crafters in the party. I mean, if there's one like present, you can say something.
I can craft.
I guess we're selling it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, I guess
kills
we
the
have to
party.
sell it.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, this is-
finally, yeah,
I'm just gonna say that's like a dream for Pyro's character. It's a shame he's not here.
yeah. And finally, a collectible graphic novel that depicts a relatively well-known cultural figure, the Tabaxi warrior known as Death Pussy, whose salacious adventures have been captured in great detail by artisans in this here comic book. It's an old book. It's an old comic. It's in quite good condition, though it has been read and read many times over the years.
Some of the pages stuck together.
No, it's in
No.
much better condition than that. It's being read for its philosophical and cultural value only.
I just rooted for the articles, man.
Precisely. For the social commentary on issues of a range of contemporary issues.
That's
Quite a haul.
issue 3. You felt?
That's issue 3. And it details her adventures when she reaches the Sword Coast and effectively becomes at once the boldest pirate on the Sword Coast and also the hero that makes all the other pirates her bitch.
Ah. Fancy.
Fancy.
Very
Mara would appreciate the book.
Bet you would.
I don't think anybody's stopping you from taking it.
So, are we gonna take all this and leave?
Yep, as much as we can.
Odin's got no use for it.
Just adding it to the party wealth.
He did say that he was working for someone, though.
Working for his god, no doubt.
I'm wondering if he had more connections in the area. Someone that
Possibly.
might come looking for this money.
Well, I'm fine to just leave it all here if you want.
Yeah, just like cool. No worries. Paladin's cool with that.
I think we can find a better use than to just let it sit here. Besides, a lot of this is from Myth Dranor, which is not commonly used currency anymore. I doubt it's been used anytime recently.
Which would make it all the more suspicious to the person looking for it.
That's why you don't have to spend it nearby.
Well, if you have concerns, suppose we could leave it here for now. And it's pretty well hidden. I don't think anybody else will take it while we're gone. You can see the local lord and inquire about who might own this structure now that Odin's dead. And if no one does, then I guess it would be free for the taking.
A great adventuring party in D&D where we break into a tomb, or something like a ruin. We search for it, we find the treasure, and then we track down the inheritors of the original descendants so that we can give them their money
Lawful good.
back.
Yeah, that's what I'm for it in character.
I'd say that's stupid good, but yeah.
Some lawful stupid.
Hey, they might give you 10 copper for your trouble, and then it's all worth it.
It's the right thing to do. There's no doubt about that. It's somebody owns this legally, no doubt.
Say the giant took it.
That does complicate matters.
Well, we should hold on to it till we find who will inherit it. Just in case someone else not so scrupulous comes in here and tries to take it.
Is that the decision then?
Very well, then we'll take it for now, but we won't spend it or distribute it until we're sure that no one owns it.
Brilliant.
I was just saying, be careful what you take from the Thieves Guild, but I wasn't saying don't take the gold.
I'll add it all to the party. Well,
There you go.
Just one thing, just in case it might be important later. That do you remember that note from Odin that you left in the little chest? That's like, put this in the box afterwards.
Yeah.
Was it signed, or was it just like a note on its own?
Just a note on its own.
Okay. I think I might be able to replicate his handwriting. But that might be a plan for maybe later.
possibly. I'm just concentrating on this at the moment, so that's why I'm quiet.
Okay, and I suppose
Yeah.
if the note's still hanging about, I guess if it's free, my character will take it.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I don't see any use in holding on to it. So
We heading back up.
yeah, you guys look tired. Maybe we should get some rest.
I think that's a grand idea.
Yeah, hopefully not have it be interrupted this time.
And then 2 invisible giants show up.
All right. So you don't have to move your characters out. You've got tokens up here that you can
Oh, yeah.
go straight back to.
What time is it?
Ooh, what time did we start searching this place? Was it right after the giant hit it? Did we wait until the morning?
Right after.
Right after. We still gotta get a
Ah.
full rest in.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there you go. I appreciate you guys remembering.
Odin's body was still warm as we stole his stuff.
It was a little cold. Cold outside. He was up on the roof.
All right, so we have an assassination. We have Princess Arlena.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
It's a
could be
bounty.
interesting.
It's not an assassination.
Yeah.
Potato,
Arnold,
potato.
I know the location of Drow stronghold on the surface.
You do?
Yeah, that's what the Drow told me before they left, that they were hiding out at White Craig.
Good point.
Hmm.
Might switch us over to the bigger map. So you don't have this map for the record, but I'll give it to you all the same. Your characters don't have it, but
So the Drow are White Crag and the Giant headed in that direction.
Believe so.
I mean, to be honest, I think they knew the giant was going to attack.
Trying to remember exactly what they said
They were like,
before they left.
please, Drow female, do not stay at the tavern here. It would be so much nicer in our castle.
Yeah. That was also just kind of a power move by them, trying to get me to join their cult.
Hey kid, you're pretty cool. Don't come to school tomorrow.
Yeah. That's
Oh yeah,
one
that's a
way to
good.
look at it.
I should add while I'm adding stuff to this party wealth. Are we gonna try to take the fucking statue? It weighs 250 pounds, but it's worth 100 gold.
I would vote to leave it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
fine leaving it. That's it's a heavy.
I thought we had a cart full
bit-
of salt. Can we just put it on that?
We got to get it out of that freaking sewer system or
Yeah.
tunnels or whatever it is.
Is anybody capable of lifting 250 pounds?
Nope.
Not I.
See,
The one
5e.
person who probably would be is not here.
yeah.
I got a decent
Alright.
strength. Trying to figure out how you calculate the amount of stuff. you can
Times
lift.
15. And that
Times
would be the
15.
absolute limit.
Oh, you can drag, I think, times 30, but yeah, you wouldn't want to drag a bronze statue.
Yeah, so you'd be 10 pounds off being able to carry that statue.
Yeah, so we're just gonna have to leave it behind.
That would be if you dropped literally everything you owned, you would be like still over.
Yeah, we'll just leave it.
Old fort in. Done. Well, it's still dark. But the bats are probably going back to their caves, back to their forest homes now. It's not quite dawn yet, but they know when dawn is coming.
We get our rest in.
I guess so. And given that it's like 4 a.m. and we have already slept a little bit beforehand, I guess we went to bed quite early, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
You'd only need a few more hours. Perhaps the elf doesn't need any at all. But no visitors, no travelers, no well-wishers, no door knockers, no proselytizers come knocking and trying to convert you to their religion. You wake up at different times. Some of you probably at dawn and struggle to get back to sleep, and others might sleep all the way to 10 a.m. But it's quiet out here, quiet as the dead.
What's like the temp? Like, it's summer? No, it's spring, isn't it? Like, what
Yeah.
season is it?
Spring equinox was yesterday, and
Oh,
spring
it's the
equinox
second
is
today.
the first. That's right. It's the second day of spring.
Yeah, we gotta fill out the party wealth thingy. Everything minus the statue.
Sweet.
Because I'm gonna say, I think like Flightless gets up early because he's just gonna go outside and just watch the dawn like rise. Because he's never seen it before.
Oh, right. Oh, well,
He's
it's an
lived-
exceptionally good dawn. Right, keep going, please. Yeah.
I'm gonna say because he's lived his entire life in the Underdark.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's a beautiful dawn for it to be your debut. It's often raining in this part of the world, but it's not raining today. You've got the mountains on the west and the forest to the east. So the sun comes shining through the evergreen trees of 100, 150 foot tall ancient elms and oaks and redwoods. And with it come 100 different varieties of birds and lizards and field mouse. The world wakes up, and perhaps some of the first animals are coming out from their cubs, voles and weevils, and canaries taking their first flight. It's a magical time to be alive in a magical part of the world.
Allie would come out and join him after a little while. It's like, it's truly beautiful, isn't it?
Slowly, like, back off and give it like a nod.
I'm not that close to you. I'm just
He
approaching.
still backs off. He knows how far hand crossbow can shoot.
I clearly do not have a hand crossbow on me.
Drow tricks.
That's right. You don't really trust the drow much, do you?
He won't respond. Like, that's basically the truth.
Mm-hmm. She'll just kind of sit down, kind of legs crossed, or kind of hug her knees and just kind of look at the sunset. Kind of let you do your thing.
Like, he won't leave, but like he won't be like fully relaxed either.
Mm-hmm. It's alright. I'm not like the others. You can trust me. But I'm sure you've heard that before.
Yeah, he'll give you like a little nod as well. You know that little rock that I had, like that the other LSD worshipper, like, did it like disintegrate, or do I still have it?
I don't know the rock you're talking about.
No, it's when my character was like killed in the Underdark, like the LSD worshipper gave me a little like shining rock that like burnt out in the sun. Like, do I still have it, or did it like become ash?
Oh, it depends if you've exposed it to direct sunlight or not. They deteriorate over time in the atmosphere, but they are destroyed instantly by direct sunlight. So you can probably keep it around for about a month as long as you keep it cloaked or hidden or in the shade.
It probably goes to show it, and then it gets destroyed, and he looks upset.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah. For a brief moment, you see it; it glows with light, but the sun consumes it. Um, the way the daylight consumes the moonlight.
Mm-hmm. What was it that he had?
It was a small like rock blessed by like Illustrate to like glow, but in the sunlight it got destroyed.
Oh, you were helped by Illustrate.
Yeah, from like the 10 steps away, he'll nod.
She's truly a magnificent being, isn't she? She's really shown me the better world out here. You know, the reason I'm coming up here is to help prove that not all dark elves are truly evil. But I hope I could help one person up here.
He looks more relaxed than he did before, but he still won't like getting you.
Oh yeah, no,
So, but
totally not expecting that.
I guess a sort of tense but pleasant morning.
Oh, well, the others are starting to get up. We should probably get moving soon.
He'll go back inside to get his backpack because it's still in the corner of his room. And
I went out to check on the cart. I'm in the barn.
All right. When you go out, you will find that there are no horses here, but there is one large, strong, top-heavy beast. It's got enormous shoulders, where its little hind legs are almost comically small in comparison. A thoughtful face and small horns, and it's furry. It's like no ox you've ever seen before. but it looks something like the aurochs that are a very rare and ancient species of cow, and a little bit like the rothae, which are an underdark cow. But it's an entirely new animal that you've never seen before. It looks at you with indifference.
Is it close enough for me to reach out to?
It is, and it neither flinches nor responds if you touch it and scratch it and feel its thick woolly coat. Just it might as well be a statue with a flicking tail. Its eyes follow you though, and its eyes follow your hand. It's wary, just unresponsive.
All right, I'm going to assume this is what we're going to use to take the cart up north. So
As if on cue, the bison takes a step forward and, not impolitely, pushes past you. Do you resist it? Do you get out of its way?
yeah, I move out of its way.
And it goes up to the cart and stands ready to be leashed.
Leash it up.
It begins slowly backing the cart or turning around and taking it out into the road beyond. The salt is still there. The salt's been loaded up this whole time and remains in place. Turned Dalavash upside down, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, the bison's ready to go.
I'm ready.
One thing I didn't point out earlier, Dalavash, while you were walking around inside and just looking around the bar when everyone else was waking up, you would have noticed again that this place is pretty well stocked with alcohol. Where are those? Where are those notes? I think it's in information, our notes. No, not our notes. Yeah, no, discoveries and records. The Old Fort Inn. There's still a bunch of bottles of ale and beer and whiskey, and that would have drawn your eye, Dalavash, as you were walking through the bar.
Now, folks, there's a lot of alcohol still left in the bar. I don't know if we want to. I don't know what you guys want to do.
Well, we might as well load it in with the rest of the things we've taken and verify whether it currently has an owner.
Sounds good.
I'll roll up the booze.
And while that's happening, I guess Flightless will go around and, close the shutters and make the place look like it's closed and not abandoned.
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely. So you lock it all up, and there is one literal gaping hole in the second story, but you're going to need masons to fix that.
Yeah, but
Mending spell certainly ain't going to do much.
But if all the doors are and shutters are closed, it looks like maybe the place got attacked and then they're shut up for repairs. But if all the doors are still open, like we just left now, people might think, oh, everyone died, we can go loot that place now.
I think that's a very fair assessment. When seen from the road, it'll seem like somewhere that's shut down rather than something that's open for the pickings. Yeah.
And I'll drop some of my equipment in the cart because I am heavily encumbered.
Excellent. The bison barely seems to register the extra weight.
So shall I assume we're going to head to Dagger Falls?
I believe
Believe
that
so.
was the goal, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Bison looks around at everyone else.
Give it a pat on the hindquarters to just get it moving.
It grunts and walks down towards the main road and turns left in the direction towards Dagger Falls.
I'll jump on the back of the cart.
Yeah,
Fennec
I jumped in too.
Very well trained Bison.
Bison stops briefly when you jump on, gives a bit of a grunt as if it gets a bit agitated. Second person jumps on, gets a bit more agitated. Inhales, exhales, and starts pulling the now heavier load.
Did we put Artisan in Flightless's pack this time?
Yeah.
I guess so. Artisan will be our escort. Perhaps he can push if we get stuck in a ditch or something.
I'll walk along as well. Combined weight of myself plus all my armor would be quite a bit.
Yeah, and Flightless will walk on the other side of the cart to the drow. Be right back.
Soon. All right. Bill, could you roll 1d100 for Dalavash, please? Pretty good. At least it's pretty high.
I was gonna say.
All right. You've barely left the old Fort Inn. When perhaps 500 yards up the road, maybe only 500 feet up the road, you find a tree, and this tree has a poster pinned to it. The poster seems to have been put up relatively recently, within the last month. So it's been there more than a few days. It's faded, but it's less than a month, and it's still completely legible. This is what it reads. Here, this is what it reads.
Ah.
What, are you scared of something?
Fuck you. Oh. What a pleasant poster.
Yeah, it's quite colorful.
A
You guys have
barbaric
any-
invitation to a barbaric sport.
You guys have any interest of going?
No,
Absolutely not.
Oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
no interest in mindless fighting.
I mean, it has the official Nintendo seal of quality.
It's gotta be good.
Well, that changes everything.
To be honest, that's a seal of quality you can trust. If it has that seal, then like 8-year-old you is going to be satisfied, I reckon.
Oh yeah, 8-year-old me is right on board with this.
I'm so confused. Did like Nintendo publish that adventure?
Maybe.
The seal of quality was Nintendo Entertainment System making sure that stuff would actually run.
Mm-hmm.
So it was made for the Nintendo, not necessarily by them, but for it.
Was released on DOS?
I was just reading that.
REST.
Holy crow.
All right. So, Loin, could you roll a D100, please? Keep them with the high numbers.
High rollers.
That. All right. Okay. We're heading towards Dagger Falls, of course, and this country is frontier, but it's not completely unclaimed. On the contrary, I suppose that's what frontier means: is that there is some occupation, right? Once upon a time, 50 years ago, these hills would have been pretty well populated. There would have been families every half mile or so claiming everything that they can see, essentially. If you can shoot it with your longbow, then that's your land, right? 600 feet in all directions. Um, but the Zentarum attack meant that people largely abandoned this country, and they're only just starting to reclaim it. So it is that it's good farming country, but it's pretty much abandoned, and the ruins of 50-year-old pioneer houses can still be seen here and there. You come to a dirt road, and that dirt road leads up towards a hamlet. The hamlet looks like it probably is inhabited by 50 people or thereabouts, and it looks pretty well fortified. This hamlet has its own wall and ditch, for example. It's not much of a wall, but it's got one all the same. Is anyone interested enough to stop to walk a mile up the path to talk to anyone up there, or have we had enough adventure for one day and we just want to get our salt to market?
I think we got time limits on certain things we've got to do, so probably should head to Dagger Falls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, although I will, as we pass by, just check it out and see if they're flying any kind of insignia or whether the wall shows signs of massive damage that might indicate an attack or something like that.
Yeah, perception or insight might help you here.
I'll go for insight. I think that is.
Wow.
16.
16 is pretty good. 16 will tell you that it's not much of a wall. It's really not pretty much a ditch. There is no flag flying here. It's a hill surrounded by a ditch. They've cleared an acre in all directions, so there's no way that you'd be able to approach that final couple of 100 feet without being exposed to vendors or sight. They have a large bell that forms, the central building of their community. And that bell is currently manned by a spotter. That's about as much as you can tell from here. Like, they're either incredibly paranoid or extremely well defended or just playing old smart, because the level of tactical planning that they've paid in the construction of their fortification is a testament to why they're still here, I suppose.
Yeah, it's quite impressive.
It's quite impressive. It's like a little Gaulish village, right? Ready to yeah, stave off invaders. Yeah, anyway, you get the idea.
Seems like they'd be able to fend off a half-hearted goblin attack, something along that line.
Absolutely.
A normal hamlet without a wall might get ravaged by the same attack.
Yeah, if any hill giant comes out of the forest, they're going to get a couple of shots into it before it even makes it to the base of the hill. Yeah, it's
Yeah, pretty smart.
pretty smart.
But other than that, I don't think we have any business with them. So we'll
No.
proceed.
Not unless they want any business with us.
Mean offer us some sort of assignment or have us solve their problems?
No, I meant like come after us. Signal the alarm as we're passing by.
And they do not. Not so much as a dog barks. All right. Mara, D100, please.
I got back just in time.
sure did.
We just passed a walled hamlet.
Seven to I7. Okay. Yeah, all right. So as mentioned already, this country is a good farming country, and it holds a number of homes that have either been abandoned in the past or even abandoned in recent times. Your characters may not know it, but things have been, tumultuous recently, and a couple of yeah, it's always dangerous in the frontier, right? Anyway, um, so it is as you're walking along the path that you begin to pass houses that look like they might actually be occupied. Mostly it's ranches. You might have 10 acres of grass for your horses and for your cattle to just roam around, and a homestead half a mile or a mile off the main road. But what we're walking through right now is there's a lone house that their curtains are drawn. The garden is in pretty good condition, more or less. More or less, it's a little bit overgrown, perhaps. You don't see any sign of any workers or anyone looking out of the window or anything. It just looks like a quiet little home. Got a couple of chickens and whatnot, and lots of bees. There are bees everywhere. And as we walk along the path, bees start buzzing past us, and a few of them land on the ox. Just buzz around.
Hmm. Does there appear to be some sort of beehives near the structure?
Yeah, it looks like there's lots of beehives out in front of the building. Probably as many as 7 or 8 of them. Quite a few, and they're overloaded with bees. They're just everywhere. No sign of anyone taking care of them.
Do they look like hives set up to collect honey, or
Yeah,
Or like-
yeah, that's right. Yeah, eyes
okay?
for honey. Yeah.
Ooh, I wonder if I can get some honey. I've heard it's quite delicious up here.
Have you never had it before?
I've had something similar, but it was not made with pollen from flowers. It's not very sweet, but it's kind of the same texture.
See, well, if this person has any extra to sell, I'd be happy to buy some for you out of my own pocket.
Oh,
Sure, we
really?
can. Yeah, it's no trouble at all.
The house is probably 500 feet off the main road, which is not that far. A very short stroll, really.
Mhm.
And as you stroll up this garden path, more and more bees start buzzing by. They're not attacking you the way wasps might. But some of them land upon you and poke around and give you a sniff, perhaps. But by the time you've made it up to the garden shed or the main house, you are able to see that the chickens appear to be really, really sick. Dead. Some of them are dead. Um, the garden is, again, not overgrown, but ill kept. There are no signs of workers. No one comes out to greet you. And shortly after you look around, you'll find a dead dog. The dog has what you thought that buzzing was bees. This is flies. There are bees. There are plenty of them. But over there, what you thought were bees, like everything else, are flies, and they reveal a dead dog. It's a hound, like a basset hound.
Aw.
Aw,
Can we tell if it looks like it was like violently dead or just old age type dead?
Look, it's rotting at this point, and so you'll make a medicine check, but you don't have disadvantage. Um,
Could I do an
just a
investigation
flat
instead?
roll. Yeah, you can do an investigation as well, but it means getting your hands dirty. All right, Dalavash. Before the Kenku has to sully itself with rotting dog, you're able to discover some violent injuries in the form of 3 crossbow bolts. They're only small crossbow bolts. And their shaft is unusually rubbery, not stiff like wood. It's made of some other material.
Do they look like drow boats?
You
Boats?
got it. They are made of zirkwood. It's a type of mushroom that is unusually rigid for a mushroom, but not as strong as wood.
I'll draw my sword and say, I think this place was attacked by drow. I bet they're hiding inside right now.
Right, well, in that case, let's go and investigate. Everybody be on your guard. Approach.
I guess. Are we bothering with stealth rolls at this point, or would we assume that someone peering out from the curtains might have seen us?
I'll be slinking up at this point.
Absolutely. Go ahead and make a stealth roll. Sure. There is ample cover, bushes, and the chicken coop where roughly half the chickens are dead and roughly half the chickens appear to be in a critical condition.
So,
Not injured, but dying.
he's going to hide, but he's going to stay by the cart.
Absolutely. The ox just brushes, flies away, but lets the bees land wherever they want to.
He Flightless understands the drow threat and become invisible.
Brilliant. He knows how to hide from drow. But Dalavash jingles as he makes his way towards the balcony that goes all the way around this house. So you've made it up to either the balcony, either the edge of it, or if you want to walk up onto it. The bees keep buzzing, landing in pot plants and flowers. Though some of the pot plants are beginning to die. They're not dead yet, but they are beginning to die. And you don't come under attack by the time you've reached the perimeter of the walls or of the balcony.
Okay. Can I try to peer through the curtains at all?
They're sort of like they're on the inside, so make a perception check with disadvantage. You can't move the curtain since it's inside a shuttered window. The wooden windows are shuttered with wood, not with glass. And you look through, and you can get a bit of a look around, and the place looks pretty clean, right? Like you can see the table, and there's no food on the table. Their fruit basket appears to be a little bit rotten. Their apples and oranges are starting to turn. But the plates up in the shelves are clean. No one in there that you see.
I don't see anything in there, but who knows where they could be.
All right, then. I'll go first. I'll go up to the door and try the handle.
Locked.
Here, try this, and I'll hand over my crowbar.
Sure,
Be
I'll
right back.
give that a try.
Advantage?
I'll go ahead and slot it in to make the roll. Only an 11.
But you can't do it without completely breaking the door down. Like if you struggle for long enough, you'll get it, Lady Eleanor. But you're going to mangle this house in the process. Do you mind? Do you care if the door is irreparable?
Well, I guess as I try to get a good hold on the door and hear it squeak and creak under the pressure, I guess I'll glance at Mara and say, "Hey, well, do you think you can get this door open less destructively?"
I might.
It's worth a try. I'll hand the crowbar back and step aside.
Can I take a look at the lock?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's the sort of with a roll like that, you can do the same, but with the lock. Essentially, you can bypass this sooner or later, but only by breaking the mechanism in the process.
Yeah, I can do that. That way, it's not the whole door that's broken; it's just the mechanism.
Exactly. Like you've probably seen it yourself when you knock the whole door handle and lock mechanism completely out of the door, right? Pretty simple. Pop, just pop the whole bloody thing out, and it's going to wreck it. But it's not. But at least the door is salvaged. So you go ahead and do that, right, Myra?
Yep.
All right. You now have a lock and door handle assembly. If you want, you can put it in your backpack, like whatever. It's yours. You look inside the house. It's neat. It's not dirty. It's a little dusty. But not even that bad. There are a few cobwebs, but it's not even that bad. There are a few rat droppings, but it's not that bad. The fruit basket that sits on the central table, you wouldn't want to eat that fruit. It's if you are starving, you get nutrition out of it. A dog could eat it, but the orange has deflated. It has fruit flies. The apple is soft and brown. The dishes are still up in the cabinet behind glass. Interestingly, they use wood on the windows, but glass on the inside cabinets. But the dishes are well positioned, like a middle class family might get their maid to do. The place looks pretty clean, and here you are standing in, I guess, what we call the lounge room, a combined lounge and kitchen, from which the bedrooms are offshoot from with a corridor.
Well, I guess I'll call out. Is there anybody here?
No response. Maybe a croaking noise from the chicken coop, but that's about all.
I will go check out the house, keeping an eye for make sure where I'm stepping is structurally sound.
Sure. Make an insight roll. Yeah, cool.
I'm staying outside to keep watch.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you will notice that the beds have been slept in and not remade. The master bedroom and maybe like the sub-master bedroom, the one anyway, two of the beds, including the master bed and the second largest, show signs of, I suppose, struggle. There is blood on the carpet. There is broken vases, and things have been knocked over, and maybe torn clothing. But it's pretty neat. Apart from that, there's some signs of violence. All of the beds are unmade, and there are few obvious clues beyond that.
Okay, so no like where the bodies may have ended up, anything like that.
You look around and find the outhouse, look under the bed, and so on, and there's no corpses besides the dog. Yeah.
And some chickens.
And some chickens. That's right. Half the chickens are dying, and the other half are dead. But they're not dying of any injury.
You know, the drows have a tendency to take slaves.
Yeah, it could have just been alright that they'd taken some people from here.
Does seem to be the case.
Probably
Whoever-
up at the right, Craig.
Well, that gives us all the more reason to go there when we can. Well, considering that the owner of this home is likely still alive, I say we leave it as it is, so that if we happen to rescue them in the future, they have something to come back to.
Sounds good.
While we're here, is there any honey in the pantry?
Lots of honey in the pantry. Yeah. Probably 1d4 plus 1 pounds of it.
I'll snag a jar of it and leave a couple silver on the countertop.
No worries. You have a pound of honey. Honey is worth 10 gold pieces a pound.
Oh, okay. I'll leave 10 gold pieces then.
I don't know if you'd know that though. So
Oh.
it's a couple of silver. Your token gesture will be fine. Like the gods determine, markets determine the price of things, not gods.
Ah.
There's no objective value to honey.
All right. Huh? There's some honey.
You got some, did you?
Yeah. When we stop for lunch, we'll have to break some bread with it.
Oh, did you leave any? Did you leave any money?
Yes, there's a handful of silver on the countertop.
Oh, I appreciate the gesture, but honey is a little more expensive than that. Yeah, let me. I'll cover the rest.
Oh. You don't need to do that. I have plenty of money.
Oh well, sure. If you would like to yourself.
Oops.
Mm-hmm. I'll throw the gold down.
Problem. Okay.
I'll
So,
looking at the chickens.
yeah.
Is their feed missing? Like, are they dying of starvation?
Thirst.
Thirst. Are there any water sources nearby?
There would no doubt be a water source within, 100 feet or 100 yards or something. They'd have a river or a stream or a well. Yeah, there is water, but not within the cage that the chickens are in.
I'll just take the time to refill their drinking containers. Maybe buy them a little bit more time.
Yeah, perhaps it will. What about the gate when you leave?
I mean, the chickens don't really stand much of a chance out there, but they're also going to die if I just leave it closed. Who knows when we might rescue the owner, or if we do. So I'd say it's probably the right thing to do to leave the gate open so the chickens can leave if they need to.
If you care, there are 3d4 chickens remaining.
Load the chickens into the cart. No, I'm
I'm
kidding.
taking this chicken. His name is Bob. He's my chicken.
You have a chicken called Bob, and it's not a he.
Alrighty then, let's continue.
Moving on.
She's ready to be plucked. Anything else?
I think that's it.
That's it. All right. Flight lesser D100, please. We have so far acquired a chicken. That's like
And a
the
jar of
only
honey.
and a jar of honey. That's like basically
So
the only
we got
real
some
treasure
honey.
we've got.
Hey, we are mighty level 1 adventurers.
All of our other treasure is stuff that we're hanging on to for somebody else.
You pick on us now, but when we cover that chicken in honey and use it for bait later, you're gonna laugh.
Well, no, I'm going to be impressed. Bob's not going to be happy, but I'll be impressed. All right. Now, this is known to be a wild country. This frontier has werewolves and allegedly vampires and giants, and there are even tales that beholders can be found, if not within the hills, then perhaps beneath them. But nobody told you about the cavemen. There is a caveman riding a giant lion, a saber-toothed tiger, up in the hills to the western side of the road. He spots you from like maybe more than 1,000 feet away, and he seems to scamper his lion towards you. You're traveling along with the bison. The bison hasn't noticed the lion yet, fortunately. And at 2,000 or 3,000 feet away, you spot this dude. What's he riding? I don't know. He's gone anyway. You walk forward a couple of minutes. Dude, there's that dude again. He's on a hill, and the hill is closer. Is he riding a lion? And then when he's 1,000 feet away, he disappears and reappears, and you see him. He's definitely coming towards us. And when he gets to the top of the hill, he stops and seems to look out for us. And there he is, at 1,000 feet away on this saber-toothed tiger, this shirtless dude. He is buff. He is so muscular. And he's riding his saber-toothed lion, and they're scouting the horizon. He sees you and he points at you, and he takes off with his lion again. He's 1,000 feet and closing. What do we do?
Mhm.
He's closing on us, towards us.
It would appear so. Like he appeared at a couple of 1,000 feet away, looked around, appeared closer to us, looked around. He's appeared closest to us again, pointed at us, and is now galloping his lion down the hillside in our direction from about 1,000 feet away.
I suppose at some point, Flightless, he just looks at Eleanor's like, we've been spotted, prepare for ambush.
Yeah. I think everybody should.
I'm gonna walk next to the
Prepare
bison
themselves.
and keep the bison calm in case it freaks out.
Yeah,
The
good idea.
bison's not sure what you're freaking out about, and then it looks over and it sees the lion, and it does freak out. It looks up at you, Dalavash, like as if it's like, what do I do?
Calm down, calm down.
Make an animal handling check with advantage. Reassuring tones. All right, it calms down. It calms down. It nods. It gestures towards the straps. 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 Stamps. It gives up.
We'll put the straps on it.
The straps are already attached, like the thing that hooks it up to the car, to the wagon.
Oh.
The bison rolls its eyes when you don't understand.
Stupid human.
do we want to let the bison free while this is happening, or leave it attached to the cart?
You're the animal guy.
Well, it nodded towards the straps, so I'll release the straps.
It shakes its shoulders a little bit and turns to kind of face the lion so that it's head on. And at this point, it's about 500 feet away, which is within longbow range if anyone has one.
I was standing there, gripping my halberd,
Mm-hmm.
watching it approach.
I have my hand on my sword, but not drawn yet.
Mm-hmm. The caveman rides to the highest ground that is close to you, and at a point of 300 feet away, he stops, still on the back of this tremendous muscular beast. He pulls on the back of its mane that he uses as a set of reins, and calls out to you, "Ugh!"
Yes, the flight heels come as like, hey all, you mind introducing yourselves? That's one of Lady Eleanor's lines.
It looked
It's a
quite
bit hard to.
concerned.
He doesn't seem to understand, but he seems to be greeting you all the same. It's a bit hard for me to ask each of you what languages you speak. But we'll start with primordial. Does anyone have like the primordial tongues? Aquan, Terran,
Orin?
etc. Orin. He sounds like he's speaking primordial, and you speak a different dialect of that. But hello is a simple enough term to convey in all languages.
Mm-hmm.
He lived with other Kenku, like he'd know how to say that one, so he'll just give the greeting.
He greets again.
Just give, like, what you want?
He understands that. That's a simple enough message to convey. of universal phrases. Trade, have things, want things.
What things?
He gets off his lion and goes into some sacks or that rolls that you would have assumed might have been a bedroll or something, but isn't. It's more like furs. And he produces a beautiful white wolf pelt, winter wolf pelt. Magnificent they are, like cashmere and fur combined. He holds up a few things that are too small to see. They look like they might be globes of some sort. And he gets out some tusks, some elephant tusks as well.
Your toes
I'll
like
hold out.
the
yeah, I'll
trader
hold out
wants
my-
your attention, mistress.
I'll hold out the big jar of honey and the chicken. Like,
He nods. Yes.
why don't you come over here? Kind of beckoning him over.
Yeah, you use gestures, right?
Yeah.
Of course. And
Let's say try to keep his line a little bit away from the bison, please.
Bison stamps and gets ready to countercharge.
Ooh, easy. Shopkeeper.
He stops and just he looks at you like, "Are you sure?" But then sort of relaxes.
I look at him and roll my eyes a little bit too.
Right. He's a bit pretty sus, but he'll take your word for it.
I mean, like,
And yeah.
what's the chance a Kenku has a word for caveman that wants to trade with you?
Low.
I can't imagine there's that many of them in the Underdark.
No.
You might have like trader or something.
That's what he called him.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you have
for all
any drow language, I would understand that as well.
Yeah. Good point. So you can convey it in sign language. But to be honest, maybe this is the caravan system. Maybe this is how the economy works on the surface. Everything is sent from town to town on giant lion back.
The cavemen,
buff
the cavemen
dudes.
come to trade.
That's right. Like the U.S. Post Office, rain, hail, or shine, nothing stops this guy from getting your parcel to its destination.
Amazon Prime 1-day delivery.
Precisely. So he stops at about a range of 300 feet or so, and it shows you the space and comes a bit closer. And at a range of 100 feet, he's just about within pouncing distance. And the great lion's muscles shuffle as it stalks towards you, and the bulging muscles of the rather short dude, really only stands about 5'6", 5'8", something like that, but huge and heavy set with a massive head, big bone skull. He gets off his line at 100 feet and lets it go. It's got it doesn't have a saddle, but it does have saddlebags. And he produces what he has: the winter wolf pelt, a pair of eyes of some reptilian creature, some ivory taken from elephant tusks, or a single elephant tusk rather, just one elephant tusk. And he opens up a pouch that is filled with tobacco, about a pound of tobacco.
They all look like good goods.
Yeah, I'll go up to meet him. Try to trade him the honey for the winter pelt.
No. He thinks that the winter pelt is worth more. He looks around your things. He points to your weapons and to your armor, to your blankets, to your tents, to your rope, and if you have any glass or any potions, he likes those as well.
Yeah, I'll offer him my rope.
Yeah, he likes the rope. So, what have we got? Rope and honey. He still wants more for his pelt.
Javelins.
That's good. We're getting there. Okay, yep, keep it coming.
Rope I can always buy some more later.
Like a dagger?
All right.
Mhm.
2 rope, a dagger, a jar of honey, and how many javelins?
I can give 5.
Oh, he accepts 5 and will give you the winter wolf pelt. It is worth 75 gold pieces.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I'd also offer him the sickly chicken.
I like just throwing it in for free. 'Cause he doesn't really
Well,
want it.
yeah,
But the
it's kinda
lion wants it. The lion like looks at the chicken. Yeah, fuck yeah. He takes the chicken.
Rip chicken.
Rip Bob.
Chicken. Sorry, Bob.
Oh,
Caw. Bob gives a little soft caw. She's handed over from one owner to the next. She knew this day was always coming. Didn't think it would work out quite this way. He wants to sell the eyes. He seems to be convinced that they're very valuable.
We'll take a look at them.
Be right back.
All right. Absolutely. How
mhm.
would you identify a pair of reptilian eyes?
I don't know. Do they turn me to stone when I look at them?
Not yet.
Not yet.
The only thing I can think of is to try and remember any kind of stories I might have heard, or diagrams, or anything like that I might have seen.
I guess, yes. That make maybe a disadvantage history check since it's a stab in the dark.
Yeah, not too bad actually. 15.
That's not too bad, in fact. Yeah, these look like basilisk eyes. And when the caveman picks up a rock and points at you, and then points at the rock, points back at Ali and points at the rock, yeah, basilisk eyes.
Hmm.
Useful for creating potions of anti-petrification, among other things.
Don't suppose he'd be interested in gold.
He doesn't seem to care much for gold at all. No. Blankets?
Gemstones?
Not really. Like, not, yeah, sort of, but not really. Like, he'd be interested, but he can't really tell the value. For all that he knows, they're worthless.
I can offer.
A case
Yeah.
of ale.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He'll trade the 20. Pretty much. How much ale have we got?
I wrote it down somewhere. Look.
I think 6 casks of one type and 3 casks of another.
Oh, that's heaps. Yeah, he'll give you the ice, but if you're giving him all that, he'll definitely give you the ice.
The pale ale was three of the pale ales,
Yeah.
4 whiskeys, 6 drafts,
Wow.
5 wines. That's what we have.
He gives you everything. He'll give you the basilisk eyes, the 25 pounds of ivory, and the pound of tobacco.
I think that's a pretty good deal.
I agree.
I mean, I think we can all
Alright,
agree that he's
ivory.
going to have a very good night tonight.
Uh-huh. Him and the lion.
He's gonna have so many wives soon.
With this treasure,
Well,
he's going to unite the cavemen and take over the Dales.
So what are we giving away and what are we gaining?
The basilisk eyes value is difficult to determine, so we won't give them a value. But you get 25 pounds of ivory. Each is worth 10 gold pieces a pound, so big money. And a pound of tobacco, which is also worth 10 gold
Because
pieces.
it gets to like an alchemist or wizard a lot, to everyone else nothing.
And that's
basilisk.
for all the casks of ale.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. He seems satisfied, seems happy, and in his halting primordial. He speaks Terran, not Aquan, or rather Auran. So in his halting primordial, he tries to explain that he lives in the mountains, in the Desert Mouth Mountains up here to the west. And he tries to tell you that if you're ever in trouble and you're up in the mountains, then you call my name. Just call it 3 times. And he display and he demonstrates how to do it, and he yodels. And he does that 3 times really loudly and echoes throughout the valleys. He points to the mountains again so that the message is clear. You're up in those mountains, you yell my name, and I'll come.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, can I like mimic his cry?
You do it. He is astounded at how well you do it. It brings a tear to his eye. And what a great yodeler you are. It's supernatural. And then he bounds up on his lion with his javelins and honey and all the rest of his loot, and so much alcohol that the lion he can't move at full speed anymore. It's probably encumbered by ale.
Restrap up the bison.
He'll point up into the mountains, and with like the drow voice he normally uses, be like, "The trader will assist us."
Mm-hmm.
And then point up into the mountains.
I'll make a note of his name.
Brilliant.
Like, imagine just reading your diary. It's like the caveman's name was ha ha.
Awesome.
All right, Hallie, D100, please.
Let's go. 52. Nope. That's a 4.
It's a 4. All right.
I don't like that.
Okay, what's our passive? What's our highest passive perception? What's everyone's passive perception?
16 here.
I have 15.
Right, I might have to set up a battle map
Let's go.
then. Okay.
1d10 owlbears.
Could be.
He mentioned boulders before, so just Xanathar comes out from the forest.
Right.
He's just like, I'm lost, and then he disintegrates us.
Roll a new campaign. He would dominate you so that you could do his bidding instead.
That'd be kind of fun.
Bad idea. Can neither confirm nor deny the rumors of beholders. It's probably just the talk of madmen. Okay, about a quarter done, maybe. Maybe closer to half. All right. More than half done. And finally, okay. So, who had the 16 passive perception?
Well, that would be me.
Flightless. All right. Well, yourself and Dalavash, you will both see up ahead at a range of Let's see how far. About 100 feet, maybe even a little bit less. At a range of about 100 feet or perhaps a little less, as the path comes around a corner, it curves around the base of a hill and travels through a valley. This is a fairly wooded area. Perhaps no one ever settled here. Perhaps it's just a place that they used to let their cows rest, or travelers rest. But it's pretty, wouldn't call it forested, but it's certainly wooded. Within this wooded terrain are hulking three hairy creatures. They're humanoid, and they're bigger than any human, but they're not the size of an ogre or anything. Uh, if they stood all the way tall, they might stand 7 feet tall, maybe even a little bit bigger. But they're hunched over, they're crouched over, and they're currently hiding in the bushes, and they've done a pretty damn good job. Mara doesn't see them, and she's keeping an active eye out. Maybe it's the fact that there's no birds in the vicinity that gets you on edge, or maybe you hear some soft mumbling, or just see some trees moving. But whatever the case, they're watching you. And by the time you spot them, you're only 100 feet away. If you were to alert the party, then the gig would be up. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's like
Flightless and yeah,
if we
yeah,
let them know that we know they're there, there's going to be a fight.
precisely. So Flightless and Dalavash, you both see this, and you both look at each other and are able to ascertain that you're both in on it, and everybody else is not. So what do you two do this round?
Well, he's pretty unaware of what people know on the surf, so he'll just try to sign to Lady Alina with the drug sign language that we're going to be ambushed soon, and probably
That
only Ali
works.
understands.
That works. And so now Ali, as well as Dalavash, is in on this secret.
Okay.
So what do you two do this round?
I'm not actually sure. I suppose try to keep calm. See what Dalavash's plan is.
Uh-huh.
I'm just I'm just gonna say it's a good thing we're heading in this direction, you know, with all this alcohol we have.
Yeah, we do still have quite a bit left over, don't we?
Right. So we're all playing it cool, and we're not alerting the rest of the party, save for Ali, to the predicament we're in.
Actually,
I'll put
I've got
the
another. Can I throw my voice and make the sound of like what is it? A branch being stepped on?
Sure. Yeah, but throwing your voice is a performance check.
I have proficiency in
uh,
performance.
yeah, absolutely. But there's nothing stop. But it could work. Yeah.
Because I mean, it might throw them off. That if it's not an ambush, they might just back off or something. I'm not sure. If anything, it makes it look like they gave themselves away. Yeah, 22.
All right. Okay. So yeah, that's so you do an excellent ventriloquism check, and a branch breaks over in the bushes. Those of you who failed your perception checks earlier, or rather your passive didn't help. You can make a perception check if you want. That can be your action, just as a response to the sound, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't help. If anything, it makes it. Ali looks in completely the wrong direction. You made the bison a little too big. Okay. Um.
And
Maybe I should
I
make this
tried.
map larger. I'll make the map larger.
Allie just has her hood up over her face, trying to stay out of the sunlight as much as possible.
All right. So the bison is there, as you can see, taking up the whole bloody road. I mean, give him a break. He's a bison. It must be a little bit further back because it's about 100 feet. And that's more like it. Yep, cool. So yeah, there's the bison. Work out whether you're in front, or behind, on the cart, walking by the side. The wood is light enough that you're able to walk alongside it without it doing more than getting prickles in your socks. It's inconvenient, but not much different to walking on a road that has no upkeep. All right. And
Am
so
I here somewhere?
where you? Yeah, that's about right. Wherever you think you are, whether it's on the wagon or in front or behind, it's up to you.
I don't see my. I got to drop my token, or
That's right.
Mhm.
You've got to drop your token down, and wherever you think that would be logical for you. I think you were on the wagon, but I'm not sure.
yeah, I had hopped into the wagon.
Made sense to me. So there's a chest in here, but we need not, represent that. Let's not go overboard. Okay, cool. So those of you who passed your perception checks will know about the ambush up ahead. Aluin will know in theory, but can't. Ali can't actually see anyone. A flightless sets them off by breaking a branch behind them. But does anyone act, or do we just basically stop the wagon at this point? Like, now that twig has gone off, does that change our plans at all? Those of you who are aware of the plan or lack of thereof.
I don't know. I think the sound of a twig snapping is pretty standard in a wooded area.
It's not going to stop the bison moving forward, that's for sure.
Allie's prepared to keep moving forward, just be on guard for anything that comes out.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's only taking it steady. You guys can keep pace if you want to, and if you would.
I guess he'll start falling back because he thinks that he's given the warning signal, and he's told Vayreen there's an ambush ahead, and he made the sounds that like he thinks this is part of the plan.
Like a plan. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. At this point, I'm gonna cast Entangle.
Uh-huh. Well, while the wagon was still back, or what after it had moved
Yeah,
forward?
before it had moved this last
Yes.
spot.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Well, let's roll for initiative. But as you start casting spells, they react in one way or another.
Nice.
I described the bugbears as being about 7 foot tall, and that's not entirely correct at all. Two of them, one of them is huge, that large. One of them is a little smaller and appears to be a female, judging by her body shape. And the third one is only tiny. It's got the head the same size as the others, but its body makes it look like, well, diminutive, a midget.
All right.
Okay, Lady Eleanor, you see that Dalavash is casting a spell. What is your reaction to him suddenly doing a magical action?
Take a guarded stance and say, "What is it?"
And you can talk freely, Dalavash, at least for a few seconds.
Ambush.
All right, hearing that, I don't think I can see them yet, but I know now there's an ambush. I will step forward 15 feet and dodge and wait for something to happen.
All right. Ali.
I'm gonna stay in the cart for now and take the dodge action.
All right.
I'm going to pull out a bow and ready an arrow for the first hostile creature I see.
The largest one, the one in the front. Mama, baby, launch your javelins. Does anyone speak Goblin?
I do.
Good. The words mama and the word mama is universal, however, so you'd all hear that one.
There's 3 of them. Watch out.
Okay, I guess Lady Eleanor is going to be the target. Although the range of a javelin is 30, 120, so I guess they're all going to be a disadvantage no matter who they target. In that case, Papa is going to go for the driver. There's a disadvantage at Dalavash. And oh no, it hits Mike.
No.
It hits the bison. All right, the bison has been injured. He grunts and enters the initiative order.
After get carried by Mike Bison.
All right, it's angry.
Is Flightless
And he
about
looks
to
pretty
lose his
severely.
cover? Sorry,
Yes, he looks pretty severely injured. The blow was pretty severe. Drives deep into his shoulder, into his forequarters. Mama and the baby bugbear launched their javelins at Lady Eleanor. Both at disadvantage. And Mike is hit again. Oh no! And that second one will take him down.
That's
Not Mike.
And the bison has been slain.
Oh.
I like how their massive fails hurt us.
Indeed they do. I meant to hit the bison. Me too. They both lie. Well, it doesn't call it a bison, it calls it a cow. Anyway. Flightless. The cow is dead.
She had a single solitary tear for best character.
he's just going to move forward and take cover behind like one of these trees here. He'll shoot at Papa Bear.
All right, you shoot at Papa Bear.
No bless, but still an 8.
It is caught in his shield. He mocks you,
Um,
but you don't understand what he said, but you're still able to repeat it.
Did my held shot go off?
If you had one, I didn't realize you had one. Absolutely, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it said I was holding it for the first hostile creature I saw.
Absolutely, that's definitely a good definition, I suppose. The first hostile creature was Papa Bear, and while he catches the arrow of Flightless, it means that he cannot stop your own. And at last, Dalavash. Oh no, sorry, Flightless. That was your go attack. Yeah. So, and at last, Dalavash, your spell goes off.
All right, it's a 20-foot cube. It just
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I know. How do I delete these little cubes? I'm not used to drawing.
I shall delete it. Oh, sorry, I deleted the wrong one, didn't I? My mistake. I apologize for that.
All right,
That's
so I
better.
cast Entangle right here.
Excellent. We'll entangle Popper only. Right, and the bugbear is caught up in the ferns and vines and reaching branches that wrap around them,
Be right back.
restrict their movement.
He's got to make a strength saving throw or be restrained.
He did. He got a 4, so he fails.
I didn't see that.
Absolutely. And so yeah, he's caught up in it and starts cursing and biting at the vines and roots, but he cannot break free. The forest has him. Lady Eleanor, you have a feeling that those javelins were meant for you.
Yeah. So I can see them all now. Do they have more javelins?
They do.
Of course. Okay, I will. How far can I get? That'd be 30 foot, which put me just out of range, even with my pole arm. Don't know about being isolated, but if they got more javelins, I'm not just gonna stand here. Alright, I'll move up and dodge.
All right. Ali.
Seeing Eleanor run up so far ahead, I'll follow behind her.
Absolutely. Do you bound over the bison using his corpse as a stepping stone?
Oh yeah,
Fantastic.
I may be a good person, but I don't care.
You're practical. He makes a very good stepping stone. He's just descends at just the right angle for it to be a gentle hill.
And I'll take the dodge action.
All right. Bara.
Alrighty. I'm gonna go ahead and move up a little bit.
Absolutely.
Actually move kind of behind that log. And then I'm gonna try and shoot this one here who's caught up in the entangle.
Absolutely.
Advantage?
He was restrained, so yes. 15 will hit. He is unable to bring his shield to bear, wrapped up as he is. And that will be a
14.
severe injury. Severe injury. And Papa, no! And the other two bugbears yell with dismay and genuine horror as Papa is critically injured.
Cool. Then I will go prone behind this log because I have no clue what they're saying because they're speaking Goblin.
They are indeed speaking Goblin. The bugbears. Well, Popper is going to try to break out. So that's what he'll use his. Is it an athletics check to break out? Strength saving throw? How do you do it? Must be a
Strength
strength
saving
check.
throw. Strength test against my spell DC.
Vroom, and brawny busts out of it. Can use its action. All right, so it still has movement, having used its action. For 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Mama, baby, let's get out of here. We must avenge you. And thus they launch their javelins The baby taking a step forward. The mama probably not having to. Oh, she does have to. Difficult terrain, right?
Yep.
She's not going to risk it. She doesn't know that it's difficult terrain. She probably thinks it's going to wrap her up. So the baby bugbear throws his javelin, regular attack, at Lady Eleanor. 9's not going to do it. Mama bugbear has disadvantage.
Oh, that'll hit anyway.
18. That'll teach you to stab my husband from a distance. 25, 30. The baby runs over. The mama runs over, and the papa is trying to catch her. Flightless.
Let's take another shot at Pepper Bear.
All right.
A
Done.
20.
You've hit him. All right.
6 point max damage. I think not quite. 6 points of damage.
Oh, you strike him, and he stumbles, and he scrambles, hanging onto a tree for support. Run! He tells them, run! And Dalavash, they run.
All right. I will move over here by this log next to Mara.
Yes.
I will cast Healing Word on Lady Eleanor.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
You are brought back to a stealthy state.
And then I'll use bonus action to cast Shillelagh on my staff.
All right, it's clobbering time.
Clobbering time.
Lady Eleanor.
Do I get the sense they're trying to retreat?
Absolutely. But it's a fighting retreat.
What to do? I could move here, but there's definitely the desire to at least cut down the injured one before they escape, but that'd also isolate me from everyone else. If the remaining two then dogpiled me, that'd put me in a bad situation. So I will back off and dodge
All right.
and let them get away.
Ali.
I'll stay back, just kind of yell at you. Do you know who I am? You made a huge mistake attacking me. In Goblin.
Oh, do you know who we are?
I know who pays you. Who buys the people you ambush.
What? No, we're thieves, not slavers.
What's the difference?
We're a family.
Family of murderers and thieves.
You got nothing for that, because that's accurate.
That's
You
all I
take any
got.
action? No worries, Mara.
All right, Mara's gonna stand up. Take aim at Papa and shoot him.
All right.
Oh, sorry, that should be a 6, not a 23.
Yeah, that's fine. I just take the first one in any case. So, bam! Your arrow lands in, slams into the tree that he is slouched up again. Run! He pleads with his family again. And run they do. Off the map and into the forest and outside of our vision.
All right. As they leave view, I'll go to the side of the poor bison, see if there's anything that can be done for it, or if it's pretty dead.
Make a medicine check.
14.
Its lung is punctured and it is now taking its very last breath. I kept track of its death saves, it's failed too.
Oh
Wow.
no.
Well then, I will expend the single point of healing from my racial pool to give him 1 hit point.
And he's brought back to the brink and very, very slowly gets to his feet and looks at you with the first emotion that he's displayed, which is one of thankful mercy. Looks at you the way a homeless guy might look when you give him food. This is thank you.
Alright, well, it looks like the bison is going to be fine, but I don't know if it's in any condition to pull the cart.
Can we hook up our what's his name? Our artificer? Our artisan. Artisan, that's his name.
Oh yeah.
thing is, I don't
Yeah,
actually-
the wagon's not.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I don't actually think artisan strength is that high.
Oh right, no, it's not, is it? No.
Yeah, I think I've probably got the highest strength in the party, I would imagine. So I'll attempt to pull the cart, probably with somebody else's assistance.
It could be done, but it's hard work. But I suppose what choice do you have, right?
Yeah, I don't see the bison being able to pull it with 1 HP.
All right. Well, it's going to slow us down, but we can't be that far away from Dagger Falls anyway. So, yeah, who is going to be your pulling partner?
My strength is 10, so if anybody's got higher, otherwise I'll help.
About as strong as the average nerd, just some guy pulling a wagon. Ancient Egypt all over again.
Does everybody else have 8?
I have 10.
10?
8.
We are just awesome.
Yeah, you must have been so intimidated by that hugely buff caveman that turns up. You feel like all manlets in his presence.
I mean, if his other person helps pull, we can help push. Like, we can all 4 get on this cart.
So those of you who are leading the cart, each of you needs to make a perception check. That's good. That's good, because I took you off the map slightly early. You discover early enough that there is, lying among the debris on the ill-kept road up ahead, a bear trap left behind by the bugbears.
Like like the bison just gets killed by like a bear trap.
Yes, right? He would have if you hadn't have been pulling the wagon for him.
Poor Mike.
Alright, well, I guess it's our bear trap now.
Yes, it's yours now.
Should be easy enough to disarm, just jam.
We're not going to find the owners and return it to them.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna say no because they attacked us.
Oh, okay.
We
So,
found
sorry, that's the level of rogue speaking. My bad.
That's the level. That's the yeah. That's our morality level right there. All right. Whose role was that before?
Allie.
I thought so. That's us as we limp into town. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, cool. And it means that we don't get there as early as we might. In fact, we probably arrive just on dark in the humble town of Dagger Falls. Dagger Falls is a walled town that sits on a river beside a waterfall. The waterfall overlooks it. It's quite majestic, if you're into frontier living. There is a strong smell of horse and of leather. There's a leather works here, and so the of the 5 senses that Daggerdale gives you, smell is probably the least inviting of them all. But it's a rustic town. It's a walled town. You have to cross a bridge to get to the wall, and so the buildings on the northern side are largely underprotected. Some of them are nice and luxurious. Some of them are simple. Some of them are run down completely. But it includes a beautiful botanical gardens on the outskirts of the town that has plants that should not be growing in this region. Very healthy and hearty. Welcome to Dagger Falls.
Woohoo!
Where were we supposed to deliver this cart to?
Westgate.
Yeah.
Westgate
Hey,
wagons.
There you go.
Let's get
Do we
wagons.
Do we get much hassle trying to come into town?
You do. You reach the wall. The walls are about 12 feet tall. There's a couple of dudes. They don't wear helmets. They've only got studded leather armor, short bows, and pikes that could reach down from this height to stab you if they had to. But they don't look like they're in any mood to do so. In fact, they're quite relaxed. One of them leans up against the wall, and the other one leans over the wall. Howdy, stranger. What brings you this far north?
Delivering salt.
Wait a minute. He looks over and notices the drow at last. Your kind ain't welcome round here, ma'am.
And what is that?
On account of all the bad things that she's always doing?
What if I told you I wasn't like that? And I was coming up here to help the town.
Would you have any proof? Asked his companion.
Nothing but my word?
Look awfully heavily on for someone who don't mean nothing, ma'am.
Am I really? I have
Got a
less
big
than you
sword,
have.
Yes, well, yeah, but we're guards. We paid to be on. That's different.
And I am a traveler on dangerous roads.
Well, you got me there, ma'am. These are dangerous roads. You made it this far. But I gotta say, you are the most motley crew to come by here in a month. Only a month, though. We do get some motley crew up here. We get some motley crew up here.
I like those bards.
The what?
The Motley Crew. You know, the famous bard group.
I thought you said bards and I didn't make the connection. Yeah, he didn't. They don't make the connection either. Yeah, they're into Garth Brooks.
You know, they would be. I shouldn't be surprised, to be honest.
Not an insult?
No, it's a statement.
Exactly. So, like, well, what you here for then? Go on, spit it out. You mercenaries or something? Treasure hunters? I
Uh,
bet they're treasure hunters.
As I told you, we were here to deliver some salt to Westgate wagons. Or were you not listening?
Motion to me. I just took that as a, what do you call it? Facetious? Yeah. I thought you were being facetious.
I will show them the box of salt, or like the delivery of salt.
An awful lot of salt, and your paperwork checks out, and that's what really impresses them. Just as they're about to accuse you of acquiring the salt from someone else, like it's all fully checks out, and it makes them hold their tongues. And as you guys walk away, they look at each other, two humans about 30, 35 years old, and they just think how much the world has changed in their lifetime. Like these used to be human lands, right? And you knew what was what. And when a bunch of racially diverse, heavily armed crew turned up, they usually meant business, or they were here to solve mysteries and crimes and shit. But here, look at these guys. They're like independent contractors or something. Well, it's changing too fast for me, Marv.
An angel, a demon, a birdman, and a drow walk into a city.
And
Yeah,
an
they are
average-looking human.
exactly, and they are legitimate traders with legal authority for their job.
And a robot.
And a robot.
Second thoughts, they are the strangest people I've seen all year. They way stranger than them elf warriors that went up Mr. Norway. Uh-huh.
The rustic charm of the Dales.
Rustic indeed. And so you pass on by our community notice board. Do you stop to read it? It's extensive. Or do you get your delivery done first?
Allie will stop and stay at the board for a while while they do the delivery.
It's a whole banner of notices. Rather than being just like a single script, there's pages posted in half a dozen different types of handwriting. But it's kind of fairly easy to tell which parts are official and which are not.
Nope.
Someone drop. There we go.
This Sawmill Massacre? That sounds like quite a bit of trouble.
Not sure if anybody else stayed behind to read the message board.
I was making notes of it then, if no one else is here.
I assumed like after the salt would come back and have a look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to
Yeah,
stay,
we
but
will.
like I won't be alone with the drow.
Yeah. Oh, come on. What could go wrong?
Like, there's no legal protection for Pyro's character.
Yeah.
It's not on the list.
I assume I assume most of our characters aren't on
Hell
that
no.
list.
Not for the King.
Technically, I am.
Technically, you are, but that's a pretty big technicality.
So, are Kenku like on the list, or are they part of like the monstrous part?
I guess they fall under the monstrous part because, yeah, they're not specifically listed as an elf, dwarf, gnome, or halfling. Or a half human. The Asamar and the Tieflings are technically protected as well, so, it's
Because
a
half
whole bunch of
orcs have the
technicalities.
rights.
Half orcs have the rights, and half demons should technically do as well, yeah.
But not birdmen, apparently.
Hell no. I don't even get a mention.
That makes the legal grey area. Which is...
I don't think so.
Oh.
Legal rights are not granted to inhuman monsters, included but not limited to. You are an inhuman monster.
Sheds a single tear.
It's a human-centric world, right?
Yep.
Some things just ain't fair. accurate. Fair and accurate.
I wonder how Ali feels about cash for cloaks.
Confused. Uncertain.
So what we do is we go raid their closet when they're sitting down in their barracks, and we just take all the cloaks out. It's fine.
Yeah, these cloaks are totally piafwees. Piafwees.
I imagine I wasn't able to leave with mine for reasons.
No, of course not. No, and so you can determine what those reasons were, or whether it was lost or something.
Felt disgraced by it. Left it behind.
Excellent. And yeah, no, absolutely. That's a very good way of looking at it.
You know that you've been on the surface long enough to have it go away, basically. Having been in the sun.
Yeah, that's possible too. It's just faded away over time.
250 gold pieces for a winter wolf pelt.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Wow. Big money, big
Or a really cool magic item.
Especially
money. Where's that?
I don't know.
What's that listed under? Higher rates available for pelts and furs. I see it now. Yeah, 250 for a winner. Nice higher rates for unique specimens.
Oh,
pretty good for
somebody's
5
buying
travelers.
basilisk guys.
Are they really? That's perfect.
Buying monster parts.
A random encounter is going to have a pretty big impact on the campaign. Change it in subtle ways. We've just cashed up. Like with when you count the ivory as well, like we've got well in excess of 500 gold pieces in that one encounter.
Yeah. For jar of honey.
Yeah.
A half dead chicken.
And that was going to be my next point, was that it couldn't have happened without the other encounter, which seemed almost, not exactly pointless, but trivial perhaps at least. But without that chain of events, you wouldn't be as rich as you're about to become. Interesting.
Right then, 2 Westgate wagons.
To Westgate Wagons. The Westgate Wagons is a general store in the broadest sense of the word. It's an open spaced building, quite spacious, or it would be if it wasn't packed with shit. It is everywhere. Shovels and nails and horseshoes and backpacks and stranger things besides. Virtually everything that a rustic rural town could want, but pretty much everything that you might want to go to town for as well. A new hat or a pair of boots or a tent. Essentially, if it's in the player's handbook, it's probably here in Westgate Wagons, and it's all packed into the one room, making it a pretty tight-fitting store. They don't have many copies of anything. If you're looking for one of something, it's a great place to go. If you're looking for 10 of something, you're probably going to have to get it ordered in from 500 miles away down in Cormier and Sembia. But that's another story entirely. So you walk in and you find a voluptuous halfling who was only about 2'10" tall, but is weighed down heavily by an enormous chest. Which she displays quite prominently, made all the easier by the fact that your vertical stance means her cleavage is opportunistically presented. She saunters over to you wearing silks too fine for a place like this, and asks you with a quizzical and half smile, "Well, you're certainly an exotic crew. What brings you here to my store?"
We're here on behalf of a Cormyrian knight to deliver a shipment of salt. Here's the
Oh,
paperwork.
oh, I see. Well, this is on time. Indeed, I was expecting it this very day, if perhaps a little earlier than this very hour. Might I say what has happened to my dear knight?
He had
Might I
business
ask?
back in Cormyr, and so I offered to take this duty off his hands for him.
How charitable of you. Uh, am I in the presence of a holy woman?
Yeah, certainly. I am a paladin.
My lady, she is taken back and places her hand at the clutch of her chest as if to grasp her breath. My lady, have you come forth to crusade?
No, nothing so grand as that. It's
Oh,
a quest, a
a
destined
quest.
quest, perhaps.
Wow, that is noble. Perhaps I can help you. I am a purveyor of secrets among my other tricks.
Is that right? Well, then, perhaps you might have heard of the whereabouts of the King of Cormyr, the
Oh,
infant
no.
king.
I know, my lady, though I had heard he had disappeared. I suspect that is not particularly ah, rare knowledge where you come from up here. Um, I suppose everybody knows it here as well. As for the whereabouts, I have not a clue, my lady. Uh, would you think that he might be nearby?
I have certainly heard rumors that would imply such.
Oh, well then share them. I would love to hear these rumors, for they are unknown to my ears.
I would, but I think we, out of character, actually decided on the details of the rumors.
Absolutely. All right. So you do share the rumors with her then, whatever they are?
Eh, sure. But
Sure.
I'll leave out if there's any specific names or places.
Aha.
So I'll
Let's
give her a vague version.
All right. Well, it stands to reason that the wizards whisked them away. Shadowdale and Cormier have always had good relations. They are lawful good and neutral good, respectively. Chaotic good, maybe. No, Dagger Dale is chaotic good. Shadowdale is neutral good. Anyway, they've always had good relations, even on a personal level. Elminster knows Vandergehast, and Vandergehast is the court wizard, the royal wizard, who's raised the last legendary king from a baby. Um, so there is a theory that he would be safe up here. The Dales are relatively slow and quiet and far enough away, but close enough for them to be a feasible hiding point. Yeah, right.
Hmm.
Far enough, but close enough.
Far enough that nobody's going to stumble over them, but close enough that there's still access.
Precisely. Yeah. Uh, remote enough that no one's going to discover them, but safe enough that they're not going to be overrun by, I don't know, barbarians or dragons or something. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's not an entirely illogical thought.
Hmm. You do make good points.
So do you reveal these rumors to her?
I do, but as mentioned, a
Oh,
vague version.
I see. How curious. Well, if I should discover him, that any information about him, I would be sure to pass it on to you, my lady. For ever have I been inspired by the purple knights of Cormyr, purple dragons, thumping across the battlefield, bold and strong.
I
Yes.
was about to say, could I do an insight? See if she's just being flattering?
13, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell if she's sincere or really, really good at buttering people up. you'd fall in love with this if you were so inclined.
Guess I'll make one of my own. Well, she's certainly succeeding at buttering me up, I guess. If she has any kind of ulterior motive is not apparent to me.
Apparently, it just wants to help, and she's in a position to do so, perhaps.
I'll tell her if she can give me any information, I'll be in her debt.
Oh, I do look forward to the night that I cash that debt in, my lady.
Right.
The salt, then. Um, uh, if it could be delivered?
Yes. I'll go outside and grab the chest and, being the only strong member of the party, haul it in.
Oh,
No watch
very
and admiration.
That's quite a large amount. Um, and she says, well, how much do you value it at?
How much did he say it was worth? I remember.
It was 100 gold.
I think it was 100, yeah.
A pound of gold, a gold a pound, yeah, that's 100 pounds.
Yeah, I'll quote the price I was given, 100 gold.
Oh, well, that's an awful lot to pay for the salt. But I'd be happy to take it off your hands for a fair amount, perhaps 25.
Hmm. 25 seems not at all acceptable. That's 25% of the original price.
Then half. I think that you would agree that a fair markup for a fair merchant would be what she paid for it. I shall give you 50 gold pieces then.
Mm,
She is a merchant most fair.
very well. 50 is acceptable.
Those are the sweetest words I have heard this day.
I'll push the chest across the floor.
And as she picks up the coins and they jingle, and that is the sweetest sound that I have heard all day. You do not understand how frustrating it can be to deal in horseshoes and hammers, silvers and coppers, to actually have gold running through my fingers again as she sticks her hands in a run and shoves through it. This is why I got into business.
Starting to get a sense of what motivates this person now.
Well, is there anything that I can interest you in? We sell lemonade, 1 silver piece.
Well, actually, you know what? Pulling that cart has made me rather parched. I could go for some lemonade.
Comes out with ice.
I sip it, and I imagine it is quite refreshing.
Mara buys a glass too.
You really must get one of these, as she says, and she pulls out a box that's around about a cubic foot, and it has a series of symbols on its side, a bit like a dice, except for open, though it does come with a lid. Magnificent, hot or cold, whatever you like. We sell them, you know. They'd be perfect for people on the road like yourselves. Only 500 pieces of gold. It cooks, it freezes. It, it can be set at whatever temperature you like.
Well, it certainly seems useful, but I don't think we have the luxury of paying that price right now.
Shame. Well, I guess it will continue to gather dust. Takes it back and puts it out the back again.
What other curious things do you have here?
Oh, well, you've probably never seen one of these. But she shows you a bicycle. It's a penny farthing, but it's a bicycle.
What a strange contraption. Almost like a set of gears.
Indeed. I could never use it, she says, looking at how long your legs would have to be. But even if I could, I don't think I would. Liable to hurt yourself if you should fall from such a height. What am I doing? This has been sitting here for so long. I should be. It's a marvelous mode of transport. I think it's the future. Everyone is going to want one.
You think so?
50,
I'm not sure.
50 gold? she offers, hopefully. No, I didn't think so. And thus it shall continue to remain ornamental after all.
The bicycle is just ahead of its time.
I mean, if I had 50 gold in this moment, I probably would buy it.
Kenku on a penny farthing, that's a sight you don't see every day. Well, I don't think we have any further business.
Gotcha, that's what a penny farthing is.
All right, yeah, that's what a penny farthing is.
I had to look it up.
Good. I've expanded your knowledge.
I knew what they were, I just didn't know the name.
Precisely. You had to bring it together. I had to bring it all together. Correlate the information. All right. So, yeah.
So I'll continue kind of looking at her wares, just stuff out of the PHB, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and all manner of odds and ends. No guns. But there is smoke powder. She sells smoke powder, the ammunition to guns, but not the guns themselves. You can make TNT.
Do we want to ask her about the other reason we're in this town?
Well,
What's the other reason?
the wizard.
The
Oh, right. I'm the one that should know.
I was going to say that, but
Abarakabam, he was called.
Yes, I was going to inquire about what we've heard is a terrible person.
Oh, I don't know any terrible people, I'm afraid.
He is called Avarak. He supposedly lit some fires, and we want to verify whether or not these claims are true.
Abarak, the name I regret is not familiar. He lit some fires. I know of no fire starters either. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
This is not information about of which I have been privy to.
Fair enough. Well, what information would you be privy to that may assist us?
Well, I'm glad that you asked, for you seem to be oblivious to the treasure halls of the dwarves that lie nearby, no more than half a day's walk.
That is interesting. Please do tell.
Oh, well, I am glad that you're not insulted by my accusation, and even more glad I can enlighten you to this spectacular opportunity that is presented before you. You see,
One cannot be insulted by one as lovely as yourself.
well, uh, you have certainly put me at ease with your presence, my lady. Dagger Falls was not always so. It used to be a dwarven colony. My history is admittedly somewhat rusty, but I understand that the humans gather around the dwarves the way wolves stalk a wild man's camp, feeding off the scraps and growing strong on them. To their credit, however, the humans have outlived the dwarves. Nothing lasts forever. Even iron rusts away eventually. And they have inherited this land, but the skeletons of the dwarves remain, their tombs. The Brightblade tombs lie perhaps 15 miles west of here. Uh, it is, of course, about to be dark right now. I already hear the crickets chirping. Perhaps in the morning, if you have no other ventures, you might head west to uncover the treasures of the Brightblades. And if you did happen to find anything of a dwarven nature, then I would would be delighted to take it off your hands. You see, I am a purveyor of the exotic, and you will find that the majority of the people around here have neither the funds nor the desire to get involved in big trades. I alone have the resources to pay out the kind of sums that treasure hunters like yourselves deserve when they find the truly exotic. So, I ask you in particular one thing: the regalia of Tediamar, the former armor worn by the king, by the royal king of the dwarves, the Tediamar dwarves. That is what I should like to acquire. If you can find these pieces, or mark my word, the whole set, I would match any price that anyone else offered.
That is good to know. What would become of it? Is it to be sold to some curator someplace?
In essence, that would be its fate. Indeed, I would be looking to ship it south, down to Westgate, to our central operations, and from there we would likely help it find its way to the most fitting buyer.
Very well then. Any other things we should keep a lookout? What type of other things would you wish to find better buyers for?
Oh, well, fiddle-dee-dee. She starts speaking nonsense for a while, as if she's thinking and just mumbling to herself. But Mara picks up on her thieves' camp, and
This too?
she at last says, "I could always use a helper for her tasks as they arise."
So do I also pick this up?
If you have thieves' camp, you will notice that she is recruiting for whatever guild, organization, criminal enterprise she might be connected to.
I noticed it happened a bit ago, but when we were asking about like the missing king, like she seemed to change like the tone. Like, did like her mannerisms change as well? Like, I guess did it get more defensive?
Perhaps not defensive, but less seductive. In general conversation, she just seems to be sultry, but there are certain issues where she brings a level of professionalism to them, and perhaps the disappearance of the king was one that she treats a little bit more
But like
seriously
she
than
was like taking it
flirting.
more seriously and not trying to like rush us along. It was like she didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I guess that's valid. Yeah.
So yeah, Mar will pick up on this and kind of she'll say like, "Oh, there are some things I would like to pick up, but I wish to secure rooms. I do believe I should be back later, or maybe tomorrow."
Oh, very well. I look forward to getting closer to you.
Indeed. Now, do you happen to know a place where we might stay the night?
Definitely. There is no shortage of places to stay in town. I would not dare to recommend any of them over the others, for I am friends with the proprietors all, and thus in no particular order. I present to the north the Ancient Arms Inn, the choice of those with a distinguished taste, the Red Rock Inn to the west, for those with a love of elven culture and heritage, and the Broken Arrow for those who do not wish to be disturbed and seek only peace and quiet.
Hmm.
All right. Thank you. You have been most gracious in welcoming us.
Well, I am only new myself, but I do like it here, and I have a good feeling about you. I think that we're going to be very good friends.
I do believe so as well. This seems like a nice place, despite their distaste for someone of myself. She'll kind of motion a little bit with her tail.
I wouldn't worry about it too much. You're not the only tiefling in town. There is one that runs the temple to the north, though I'm not sure that everybody's entirely comfortable hearing sermons from a woman with horns.
Well, horny women do make people uncomfortable.
They rule the world.
That they do.
Roll my eyes. Here we go again. Mara doing her thing.
Why? She's just having a conversation.
I nod and cross my arms.
All right. Shall we find a place to stay for the night?
Probably for the best. Once it's getting pretty late now, right?
It is. It's sunset.
Yes. Tomorrow, once the sun has risen, I'll see if I can secure an audience with the Lord, and we'll inform him about the state of the Old Fort Inn, and then inquire about whether or not this. Good morning. Yeah, we'll inquire about whether or not it belongs to anybody now that Odin's dead.
All right. Okay. So which? Yep.
So, and I guess after these kind of like fights, seemingly like unintentionally shows up like a drow sign, but like no one here does drow sign language. I guess no one understands it.
No.
So he looks a bit embarrassed because like it's sort of like a tick from when he was like when he was like a slave.
Mm.
It's like they used him to interrogate people. So when people like were being like deceitful, like he'd give a sign, but like no one understands the sign here.
Yeah, it just looks like you're moving your hands nervously.
I guess to the taverns.
All right. The Elven Inn, the Quiet Inn, or the Fancy Inn?
I know, given my kind of lifestyle, I'd be inclined towards the fancy inn.
You'll be
And
delighted
I would be right behind you.
No worries. You'll be delighted to know that you'll have to drag the wagon all the way through town to reach the Ancient Arms on the other side of the town. Yeah, I reckon. I suppose we should go and put Mike Bison in the stables, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, we better do that. So while some of you pull the cart, the rest of you maybe go and deliver the bison. The stables are kind of shutting up for the night, but you do get there just in time, and you meet a 19-year-old boy, if there is such a thing. You meet a guy who is physically a man, but seems in mannerisms a little more than a child, and he's locking the place up. And when he sees you coming, he looks and says, "Oh, you got here just in time. Hell, I already put the damn padlock on the chain. I'm going to have to put the key in the padlock and open it up all over again. Now take the chain off. I'm going to open the door." You won't. So who is taking the bison to the stables?
I'd definitely be pulling the car.
Uh-huh.
I'm not leaving my ladyship's side.
Imagine
Yeah, I didn't think we were there.
Let Dalvash head over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bison likes Dalavash. So, hell, you wanna put your crew away for the night?
Yes, that would be ideal.
What sort of creature you got there, mister?
This is a bison.
Oh, what's a bison?
This.
It's a rather large, fast cow.
Large fast cow. Hell, I knew a large fast cow once. We called her Daisy. And she used to run for the molasses real fast every time you go, Daisy. And she know you got the molasses and she'd come a running. We used to trick her that way when we needed to milk her.
Well, there'll be no need to milk our bison.
Or I'll look after your bison, sir. I'll scrub him up real good. I'll just about go home to my family, but I ain't never left here with an animal that didn't look nice and clean. So you don't have to fret, mister. I'll look after your bison. You come back tomorrow, and he'll be shiny as dwarf shield.
Outstanding. She also took some damage. We were set upon by bandits on the way in. She took a little bit of minor injuries. Is there somebody you know could patch her up?
Oh shit! Oh look at that! Real bad, ain't it? I'll see what I can do. We ain't got no veterinary surgery around here, but I just take care of the animals myself. Like
Anything you can do for now would be appreciated.
I'll rub something on it, and I'll make sure she gets a bit of molasses. That always set the horses right.
Thank you.
You're welcome, mister. And he lets you get back to the rest of the party, who are moving slowly, arrive at the Ancient Arms Inn around about the time that you do.
Heave. Heave.
Town is shutting up for the night. It's not dead, but it's not lively either. People going back to their homes and having their dinner and all the mundane things that people do in just about every culture of the world at around about dusk. And so you walk into one of the nicest buildings in this rustic town, the Ancient Arms Inn. It feels like it's a hunter's paradise. There's a great big stuffed brown bear looming over the doorway. Um, there are the heads of a range of exotic creatures like tigers and panthers and a rhinoceros up on the wall, a stag. Suits of full plate, carrying halberds, just standing there at attention. And the tables themselves are decked out with vases that have fresh flowers, nice fancy tablecloths. Um, it's an all round beautiful bar. You walk in the front door and there's about 20 feet wide, 30-foot long customer area with 4 tables. Behind that is a bar that is well stocked with 3 different levels of spirits and wines, and a corridor that leads to rooms and then goes up a set of stairs and leads to yet more rooms. So that's the environment. Relatively tight, very expensive, and filled with curiosities of a trophy nature. The bartender is forthright and friendly. Well, tally ho, good to see you here. You've come at the right hour. It's happy hour right now. got a bit of a deal on a Daggerdale draft. You buy 2 and you get a 3rd Daggerdale draft for free. It's a local brew. Brewed myself, actually. Quite fond of it. I think it is a fine brew. But if you're not into the local beers, we have Dwarven Stout, Sembian wine. We serve the best meals in town as well: lamb, salmon, pheasant, venison. Smoking is permitted, and whatever your flavor, you'll find it here. Are you looking for accommodations, ladies, gentlemen, birds?
Yes, please. I'd like a room and some food.
Oh, very good. The food will cost you 3 gold pieces for a room and meal. And you can be guaranteed that the beds are comfortable and free of any of the parasites that you're likely to find in our competitors' room.
Oh, thank you. That is very kind. I'll also have a glass of Purple Hills wine too, please.
My lady has a fine palate. The Purple Hills is a legendary wine. It was the preferred wine of King Arzun IV, rest his soul. Indeed, you will not find a better vintage anywhere in Faerun. We imported all the way from the Sword Coast, ma'am. More than 2,000 miles.
Oh, the Sword Coast? That is where I
Yes.
grew up, more or less.
Oh, well, you could have had me fooled, ma'am. I'd taken you for a citizen of Myra Mydra, beneath our very feet, so they say. A Sword Coast girl. Perhaps you are a resident of Waterdeep. It is I have heard that the Drow walk the streets of Waterdeep quite freely, ma'am.
Sadly not from Waterdeep.
Oh,
I've heard the stories.
something make you sad, my dear?
Um, just a little homesick.
Oh, you're quite. Well, as you say, this wine comes from the Sword Coast, and therefore perhaps you're a little bit closer in spirit tonight, my lady.
Yes, perhaps.
That was a bad pun.
I can't help noticing that you've got a pelt on you, she says to the party as a whole.
Hmm.
What a fine specimen that is.
Oh, this old thing?
Yes. Look at the size of it. Oh, I've no doubt of the value of this. This is a winter wolf pelt if ever I've seen one. Look at the size of it. It must be 12 feet from snout to tail tip. Huge they are. Often kept by pets as pets by frost giants.
Hmm.
Well, this is a fortuitous event, for I am in the market to get this specimen exactly. I shall have it taxidermed at your pleasure, if you will accept the fee of 250 gold pieces. You see, I have been searching for one of these for some time. They're very rare in these lands. Indeed, I am at a loss to understand how you might have acquired it. Have you come all the way from the great glaciers or the spine of the world?
No, we picked it up on our travels up here.
Well,
So,
magnificent buy.
Mm-hmm.
Some
Some savage man riding a lion sold it to us.
bought it from a savage. You bought it from a savage riding a lion? Tell me that this is true.
Oh, bought is a strange word. Bartered, to be more correct.
Trading with one of the wild men, one of the wild cat riders of the north. He must have come all the way from the Great Glacier himself. Well, you've just added a story, and that gives this thing even more value. You must accept my offer of 250 gold pieces. I shan't serve you if you don't.
I suppose he'll like play back like a recording, like the entire like interaction.
Oh, jeez.
Oh God.
That is rather queer, he says to you.
Yes, he has the most remarkable ability to remember and mimic sounds he's heard before.
Oh, I see. How useful, he says dubiously.
How useful?
Oh,
He replies
well,
dubiously.
well, stop that if you don't mind, Bird. Here, I'll present you with the funds. I'll give you the keys to your room, and I'll go and get the. If you'd like to place all of your orders for dinner, then I shall get those cooked immediately.
Do we want to sell the pelt?
I'm game to sell it.
Yeah, I'm
So
good.
it's the same price we were offered. We saw on the bulletin board, so we're not losing out on anything.
Well, he's the one buying it from the bulletin board.
Oh,
Hmm.
well, in that case, yeah, a
I
deal.
mean, with the story that adds value, right? Can we talk him up to 300?
Go ahead.
How about we, me and my fiendish friend here, how about we help do a performance for tonight and tomorrow night? And with the great story behind the pelt, you do 300 gold.
Oh, well, it wouldn't be worth my while. I'm not going to get 50 gold pieces of patronage by your song, no matter how good, for I only have 2 other customers.
Well, it's mostly for the story, though, is it not? You said it was more valuable.
What I'm saying is that I'd like to have it even more now. You are perfectly entitled to take your Winterwolf pelt elsewhere. Might I recommend to the leather workers? I'm sure that they will give you a fair price for it as a base material.
Can I insight this guy? Because he seems to be. I am me personally think he's bluffing a little bit. Nope. I think he's being honest.
I guess can I throw one out as well?
Absolutely. It's certainly a lot of money, right? A wolf pelt might get you 10 gold, so to offer 250 is an incredibly large increase on that base.
It's like he's got nothing solid,
how-
so he doesn't say anything, but he'll like do the ticks again, where he's just like hiding something to seed, like in the like hand like signs.
How about for the story, we have the meal in addition to the 250 gold.
Yes, very well. I suppose that could be arranged. I'd be interested in such a proposition.
Mara's going to let that one go.
Well,
Then yeah,
sounds like a fair
Yeah.
deal to me.
yep, meals for us and 250 gold.
Alright, I'll plug that into the party well.
At least got a little bit extra out of it. Tomorrow I'll have the venison with almonds and a glass of Purple Hills wine.
Delightful.
Yeah, blow all the money.
It's her lifestyle. Like, she likes the good stuff. Come on.
Yeah, I'm just about to order the stuffed pheasant, but then I look over at flight list. Instead, order smoked salmon.
Nice.
I was thinking about the salmon, but then I see Fightless and I kind of feel a little devilish. I'll get the stuffed salmon or the stuffed pheasant.
He just looks at you.
I'm gonna look at you the whole time I'm ordering, just to think it's like mark on my face.
He'll get the salmon, but like he'll just get water to drink.
I got the Purple Hills wine. After all, I think I mentioned that my family were vintners, so I imagine I have quite a taste for the good stuff.
Yep.
This wine is quite tasty, but still not quite the same as back home. Lacks that extra punch you get from the spider venom.
Spider venom?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we milk the spiders for their venom. Very low doses, just kind of leaves like a ting in your mouth.
Now you have me curious. If I ever have the opportunity to try drow wine, certainly won't pass it up.
This has become now a wine tasting tour.
Yeah.
Well, when you have 3 nobles in the party.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I took entertainment background, but that's just because of, like, I don't know, it fit her a little bit better. But yeah,
Mhm.
still very much a noble. So yeah, enjoying meal.
You get it ordered at least, but you have not yet enjoyed it because you have instead
bum,
attracted
bum.
the attention of the other patrons. One of them is a handsome woman who is in her 40s, maybe even 50, but she keeps herself good, I suppose, blushing herself up with makeup and fine clothing and the decorum that comes with years of training, and holds herself with the grace of a lady. Um, and after the initial horror of you guys all walking in and the genuine fear at a dark elf, she's evolved over the conversation. For those of you who got the insight of 11 or higher, Samara might not have noticed, but Flightless would have. She kind of evolves over the conversation when the money comes out. When he pays you 250 gold, or at least offers you 250 gold for your pelt, her demeanor changes. And she's quite interested in you, and she gestures towards Dalavash. Well, doesn't quite gesture towards Dalavash, but makes eyes towards Dalavash, as if he has caught her interest, and he would be welcome to sit at a chair at her table, but she's not going to go out and say that. Taps her spoon on the cup, on the teacup, and looks and makes eyes and smiles and blushes and makes eyes again and blushes and makes eyes a third time. And that's enough of
I'll take.
possible.
Yeah, I was just. I'll go over and sit down. Might I help you, my lady?
She seems delighted when you do, but quietly so, giving a little giggle for someone a quarter of her age. Um, oh, sir, I see that you travel in such interesting company. Are you a musician or traveling troupe of entertainers?
We have some capable entertainers in our party.
Oh, how curious. Uh, well, then, uh, uh, perhaps I have heard of you. Do you have a name for your merry band?
Oh no, we don't. We're not. We don't work professionally at music. That is.
Might I ask what your trade is?
Adventure, the greatest thrill.
Adventure. You're adventurous. Well, I happen to know of a rollicking adventure that would be most profitable for those who are bold enough to seize the day.
Please tell me more.
Well, let me explain to you, though, if I should lose my delicate temperament during this recounting, she says as she fawns at one of her eyes with a handkerchief, then you must forgive me, for this adventure is indeed a tragedy close to my heart. It's cost me my whole family and all of my holdings, and the adventure is in the reclaiming, the returning rightfully from whence it was ripped so unjustly. Would you like to know more? Click.
Oh,
Nice
oh, please
reference.
go. Please go on.
um, I am the Countess Diorali, I am a Cormyrean noblewoman from the far north, on the edge of the lands called the Stone Lands, some of the hardest lands in Cormyr. But my descendants, my husband's descendants, have been very thorough in their and bold by taking the largest estate in the Stone Lands for the House Diorali. Unfortunately, savage creatures, orcs, have overrun my lands. They
Orcs, you
have
say?
orcs, horrendous orcs. People call them humanoid, but they are nothing such. They are witless creatures, horrors, with neither culture nor language nor any intellect, simple savages who are elevated to the status of people by the fact that they carry axes. Oh, they have overrun my lands and driven my family off. My husband is lost, and my daughter is gone. I would have someone to not just take back my lands, but if they were to take my lands, then I would award them my daughter's hand in marriage.
My lady, if our I make no guarantees, but if our travels bring us in that direction, we'd be more inclined, we'd be very inclined to help.
You make no guarantees. Man, I'm offering you a chance to become a noble. Uh, I'm offering you my daughter's hand in marriage for a simple task. You are a handsome fellow, strong and capable. I feel that destiny has blown you into my harbor.
But my destiny's in the stars, so marriage is not necessarily in the cards for me. But to help a damsel, to help someone such as yourself would be quite a noble deed.
I am touched. I am honored. But uh, I do fear for what they might do to my property. If only I could find someone bold enough to see the opportunity that is presented to them. Oh, but you are not that man.
And yet we may still help. Where is your property from here?
On
How far?
the northwestern edge of Cormyr, the edge of the Stone Lands, it would not be more than 400 miles from here, I do not believe. And if we follow the road from Dagger Falls, whoops, I got a new mouse and I'm getting used to it. It still fucked it up. Maybe I'll stop trying. Anyway, the Stonelands are west of Tilverton down here. So as the crow flies, thanks for that. I've got a whole bunch of things in the way. It's only 130 miles as the crow flies. Yeah, even closer than she suggests. About less than 200 miles, 150 miles or so is where her lands are. Not that far.
Well, milady, we have some business we have to take care of on our own right now, but I will keep you in mind should our travels take us in that direction.
Well, that is all I can ask. You are truly a gentleman, and I thank you for your audience.
Thank you, milady. I'm gonna walk back over to my table. And I'm gonna whisper and go, so how'd I do?
You conducted yourself rather well.
Thanks, I've been paying attention.
You did great.
Yes, it was quite impressive.
Thanks.
I'll glance over at the only other patron in here besides our party and the woman Delvash just spoke with, and notice he hasn't really done anything. He's kind of keeping to himself.
Looking at, he asks you when you make eye contact with him.
Nothing in particular.
When I look at you, that is what I think I see. Nothing in particular.
Well, now that was rather rude.
So is
Do we-
staring, he says while he stares at you.
I
Do we
believe
recognize him?
No. He is dressed in long robes. He is reading a book that could be a spell book or something. He's bald and has a nasty goatee.
I believe my eyes made contact with yours for less than a fraction of a second. I wouldn't call that staring.
Then look away now if you do not wish to stare any further. That is the process of avoiding staring.
Very
Cast your
well.
eyes down.
I'll hold him for like half a second longer and then look away.
How
But not
rude,
down.
he says to you, well, still looking at you before finally looking back at his spell book.
I thought this was supposed to be a high-end establishment. There's let any riffraff in here.
Can't help but barely stifle a little chuckle at that.
Yes. Slavers and birds, what shall be next? Barbarian?
Yeah, that's quite an accusation.
Well, hopefully it'll be someone with manners.
You would think so. Can you turn invisible?
Not in the slightest.
Need to get him like a cloak of invisibility or something.
Just freezes up and he's like, if I don't move, he can't see me.
We worked with the drow in the bar. I guess, does this guy have any like symbols or markings on him that would make him like that would mark him as like part of a group?
Make perhaps I don't know, not perception, maybe an insight check as you look around for anything that in the insignias that might be special.
14.
Yeah, nothing in particular. He clearly dresses to impress, though. He hasn't just gone for generic wizard look. He's gone for generic evil wizard look. Like the guy seems to be specifically intimidating in the way that, you know, modern bikers try to look intimidating, right? With their leather and their tattoos and so on. This guy has his goatee and his high shoulders and his long cloak and his demeanor and the whole thing about him just reeks
Right.
second-rate villain, you know?
Like the big intimidating sigils that probably don't do anything, but he thinks look cool.
Yeah, that's right. He's like an emo kid in a classroom that, you know, thinks that everyone's afraid of him or something.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's a wizard, so potentially he's an emo that knows power word kill.
Yeah.
Oh. Were we given a description of the wizard we were sent to like find?
Can't recall. I remember we were told he was a Cyric worshipper, he's a murderer, he's an arsonist, and he's a wizard. And his name. I think that's all we got.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's my notes.
I guess he'll, while looking at the party, he'll like repeat something like the murderer's name. But he'll be keeping like in his peripheral vision to see if he gets like a reaction out of the other wizard.
What do you want? He demands as he stands up and reaches into his spell component pouch.
Whoa. No need to get angry. We were just talking.
Then why has my name been mentioned?
Oh, you are. Huh. Well, as it turns out, we were looking for you.
You were looking for me, were you? And he seems to get to take the dodge action, I suppose. He seems to get a little bit defensive, a little bit 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. And to what ends do you seek my presence?
Well, you've been accused of many nefarious things, to say the least. And I'll list out the various things that we were told about him. Are any of those true?
You are accusing me of grave crimes. Have you any evidence?
We are merely asking.
Then I
Heard rumors.
deny your accusations. And I would threaten you with libel for tarnishing my reputation in front of such good people.
Looks around the almost empty tavern.
Not making any accusations, simply telling you what we've heard.
Well, as long as they are rumors and not charges, then I will not have to respond, he says as he reaches in and grabs a handful of sulfur that pours through his fingers.
Is that a threat? I don't
This
take
is a-
kindly to threats.
It is a certainty, Dark Elf. I will make you darker still.
Can I take this opportunity to just to disengage from the group and like find a wall very interesting all of a sudden?
I'm going to do a produce in my hands, just whirling it around in my fingers.
You know,
I'm gonna
for somebody,
stand kind of behind a table so I can kind of flip it sideways for cover if needed.
Oh, so it seems that you are here to attempt to extort and intimidate me. You bring your superior numbers and your feeble magic and your bird brains to start a conflict. Well, if it is a conflict that you want, then a conflict is what you shall get.
well, I think at this point we're all standing up from our chairs.
Allie's still sitting in her chair, but staring daggers at him.
You know, for somebody who is supposedly innocent of all the crimes we mentioned, you're very quick to jump to violence.
A man's reputation and honor is worth more than his life where I come from, though I understand that in your lands, honor is given more cheaply than women.
Because that is your opinion.
Who is making the accusations?
And what does that mean?
Nothing. I'm just making a statement.
Half demon tiefling, I shall summon fires hot enough to burn even your flesh.
You really got to work on your insult game. I've heard plenty of worse through my life.
No doubt you are used to being insulted, or that would be the appropriate way to speak to an imbecile.
Look who's talking.
And what does that mean?
Well, if you weren't a fool, you would understand.
Oh, and that's it. He can stand this no longer. Roll for initiative. He is.
TPK. TPK.
Yeah, here it comes.
Well, it won't burn the bird. The bird's outside.
Yeah, this guy has a reputation, doesn't he?
No.
The lobbies. Not
Oh,
even
jeez.
playing, but at the lobbies. Oh gosh. No, 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 says the bartender as he comes out with his arms filled with meals.
He knows what happens from another life.
He's seen this before.
He has
Oh,
weird flashbacks of past lives.
And like the faint smell of bubblegum.
Taverns and ruins. Yeah.
yeah, right. All right. And so he's reached into his pouch and he's preparing to hurl sulfur across the room. What do you do, Alioun?
So I will use hold my action to dive under the table if he attempts to cast a spell.
All right, no worries. That'll be the dodge action, so you'll have advantage on dexterity saving
Yeah.
throws. Yeah, great. Mara.
How big is this room?
It is 20 feet wide and 30 feet long. He is sitting at the 25-foot mark. So you would have to be in the furthest corner where the grizzly bear is to be 20 feet away from him. Yeah.
I will head over there.
So you crouch underneath a grizzly bear.
Yep, try to use it for cover and be like, and yeah, take the dodge action, I guess.
All right. Flightless.
I'm not too sure about the layout of them, but can I work my way like around him so I'm standing behind him? So it's like me, him,
Yes.
and then the rest of the party?
That's right, you can, and you'll be between him and the bar if you do that.
And then,
Right,
but still
I
try to
might
keep as
draw
much
it.
distance as possible.
So if the bar is a rectangle, 20 feet wide, 30 feet long. The bar makes up a sector at the back here. Arborac of Am is like here. The grizzly bear is around about here. With the doors being here, the front door, and here, the front door, the door that leads to like the corridor that goes to all the rooms. Yeah, the Lady Diorali is here. Abarakavam is coming out here. Rather, the Archibald is coming out here. Abarakavam is here. So yeah, you could slip around and kind of put yourself between Abarak and the bar.
It's a bit close. I think this corner would probably suit me
Yeah,
better.
that works too. Absolutely.
And nothing has happened yet, and he doesn't want to be the first person. He'll hold his action, and if he hurts anyone, he'll shoot him with a crossbow.
Brilliant. Lady
Not a crossbow, his short bow.
No problem. They're presumably somewhere near the middle, I guess.
Yeah, I will draw my sword, move up to him, and attempt to grapple him. Yeah. I think I'll do that. Wait, hold on a sec.
Alright.
Have I been playing too much Pathfinder? If you grapple a wizard, it doesn't actually prevent them from casting, does it?
It reduces your movement to 0 and pretty much nothing else.
Ah, that's right.
You need to restrain them some way.
Yeah.
Can you grab from the pouch?
Could
His
grab
component pouch?
Yeah, I could do that, perhaps. Try to rip it
Yeah.
off his belt, perhaps.
Yep, that's possible. Yeah. All right,
I'll
is that what
attempt.
you attempt to do? Otherwise, you could like grapple him and then restrain him next round with the next action. I know that's probably not ideal, but that's possible.
Just get your bottle, get your glass of wine and pour it into his sulfur bag.
Well, then, yeah, I'll attempt to snatch away his component pouch. Because his hand is in it, I imagine there'll be a struggle.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It'll be opposed acrobatics or sleight of hand versus his maybe yeah, probably sleight of hand versus his strength, his athletics.
Sleight of hand. Oof, okay.
And you wrestle with him, but he's got one hand on the pouch and one hand is already filled with sulfur. Dalabash.
Now, seeing him get ready, I'll throw my produce flame right at him.
Oof.
But it's a disastrous shot, and instead you hit the curtains, and the curtains get set on fire. Woof! And I'm like, no, what are you doing, man? You'll have to pay for the damages.
Fine. I'll stab my staff on the ground with my bonus action, cast Shillelagh, and I'll duck and cover.
Brilliant. And talking about the damages, here they come. You fools! You fools! And he lets out. Alan, you're sort of standing around the middle of the room. No, you
Yep.
duck behind a table. Yeah,
Uh,
that's right.
I'm
Yeah.
waiting to duck behind a table, but yeah. Dodge action in the middle of the room.
Perfect. So that works well. Where is Abarakabam? He brings his hands towards in a fan-like motion and unleashes a flux of flame that comes out, engulfing those of you who are at the front, but not those of you who are at the back. So Mara and Dalavash, you're able to avoid it. Flightless, you're not even close. Yep. And Eleanor and Ali, you're caught up in the flames. And your best attempts, Ali, to jump out of the way are just too slow, and
I'll attempt to
you're
reroll
wreathed
that.
in damage.
No.
I guess with his first attack, I'll use my held action.
Ouch. That
Oof.
hurt. Oh, well, it's not looking good. We've failed to hit him. At all.
All right. So you launch your arrow. You're caught up in and wreathed in flames. And does anyone go down?
Nope.
All right. Then Aline, your maybe you stood whatever table you stood behind has just been engulfed in fire, and you're feeling the pain.
Yep. Ignoring the pain, I'm just gonna dash at him and prod him in the face. Poke. Does a 16 hit?
16 will be enough. He has the protection of magical armor, like mage armor, right? That is to say, but your strike goes through even the force field.
Devastating.
All right, and that's a grievous wound. But yep.
Yep. Then I'll pop my second wind as well.
A grievous wound, but it is the first one that he has suffered. And he seems maniacally obsessed. And the damage is, well, not ignored, at least shrugged off. He continues laughing maniacally. Mara.
All right, Mara's going to move to this side of the bear and is going to shoot an arrow at him.
All righty.
Does 15 hit?
15 is going to be the number that breaks through his armor, the magical number that needs just enough velocity to get through and stab him on the other side before the barrier can catch it.
11 damage with sneak attack.
All right, that's another grievous injury, and this time he's forced to notice it as blood starts trickling out of his mouth, and he gargles, but he's gargling spells as he refuses to die.
I'm now gonna kind of stand behind the bear so that he can't see me. Like, doesn't have direct line of sight. He knows I'm there, but like,
Perfect.
Okay, my turn.
I think so.
Yep.
I'll take cover behind the bar now that combat's actually started. And what isn't it? The Warforged, what is it? Artisan. I think he gave me like the magic bow.
The elf's bow, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll use that to cast magic missile at him.
Nice. Beat him at his own game.
I just shoot an arrow and accidentally like somehow cast the spell off.
Boom. What's
So
that?
3d4 plus 3, is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I did capital
$3
4.
plus 3. That's like a new rap album by the Notorious
11.
D3.
11 points of damage.
Notorious 3D3. Anyway, 11 points of damage is a lot, and it knocks him down until he is collapsed. Bam! Knocks him straight back into his chair. His face goes into his own salmon. It's smeared all over his beard, and he looks up in agony and confusion, and reaches for his spell components clumsily.
Alright, well, let's see if I can finish him off. Just one too little.
He's we do not have advantage because he's like helpless or something.
No.
He's sat in a chair. I'm not sure if that would give advantage because he can't really dodge at all.
I thought he meant.
Yeah.
I thought he was saying like he's downed.
Yeah, he's pretty much down.
Not yet.
But it's not actually advantage. So you strike him and it hits him on the armor, and you can't get through the force field.
Like, it hits him in one of his like edgy trinkets that everyone laughs at, but it protected.
That's right. It's like a skull, a baby's skull, saved by it.
Throw another produce flame at him.
Here we go.
I think
Jesus.
you've hit
I
anything
even hit with
that
this
yet.
thing once.
Boom, another curtain gets set on fire. Arborak drops all his dinner. No! Stop it!
It ducked back
After
behind.
all, that is. Yeah.
Well, I'm about to go down.
You will pay for this with your lives! And he ups this Burning Hands to second level.
Oh, yep.
Oh,
I'm not even going to bother making the deck save. It's not going to matter.
Ugh. I'll use
Will it?
inspiration on that.
Could it kill you outright?
I don't think so. What is it? 11 damage? No, it wouldn't be able to kill me. Nah,
Not unless your max HP was 10,
that's
which it
12.
wouldn't be as a paladin if you have any con.
Yeah, 14 con, so that's
Yeah,
fine.
we're both down.
Somebody please finish him off.
I have done very well.
Hey, I hit him hard.
My
I
delivery
can't hit
has
the
come.
broadside of a barn.
I might be back soon, probably not. Anyway, see you shortly.
I was gonna leave us on a cliffhanger like this.
Pretty much.
The can't believe this freaking cantrip can't hit for shit.
You got a +5 to it as well. That's crazy.
I know. It's four times I've set this thing and it hasn't worked.
How about all my insights being under 15 despite me having a +6 in it?
Right.
I genuinely didn't think that this was the guy. He looked like too high level to be that guy.
Well, he has a reputation for TPKing the party at this point in the game.
What is he, a 4th level wizard, we think?
3rd or 4th, yeah, somewhere in there.
I mean, if it was a 5th level wizard, he'd cast Fireball.
Yeah, exactly. I know he's not 5th level.
Yeah, he has 2nd level spells, so he's at least level 4, or at least level 3.
Mm-hmm. Or 3rd level.
But if I
caster.
remember right, I think he's level 4 because I think he has 3 2nd levels last time we fought him.
He also was like very happy with a knife.
Yes.
Like all week, I've been thinking, like, what happens if we get caught in a burning building? Like, what's the chance of that happening?
There's only 2
I-
burning curtains right now.
Yeah.
He did the burning hands once, didn't he?
I did do burning hands twice now, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, he did the second one at 2nd level.
So I imagine some of the chairs and the tables are burning as well.
Mm-hmm.
The
we
pain
got
of
the-
being a frontliner.
I know.
How's the dirt?
Tastes great.
No.
All right,
Reminds me of home.
Let's finish this off. And okay, cool. So 2 of you drop down. Ali.
Say,
Hey, success.
All right. Mara.
All right, seeing her lady go down, she's gonna pull out her daggers and try to stab this guy twice.
All righty.
Ooh, I'm gonna inspiration that.
Might as well. Not gonna get
Oh,
another.
and then the other,
You
the
trip
other
over
dagger.
one corpse, then you go with the other one, and you trip over the other corpse, and then you accidentally fall face first into him and accidentally stab him to death.
was he on 1 HP?
He was on 1 HP.
Oh
If
my
he
god.
If he'd gotten off another burn.
And I stabbed him for 4.
Nice max damage on that.
And so he perishes, and Archibald drops to his knees and cries, all the salmon going all over the floor.
I start. I asked Alabash to heal someone if he can. I don't know if he can.
I don't have slots. I don't have anything. I would have been working on that before.
Well, Pyro's
Well, just
character
add him
would.
on.
Level 1 druid, man, freaking sucks.
Rib.
Could do
well,
stabilize, right? I can probably do some
Yeah.
stabilization on them.
Yes,
Yeah.
Because we
DC
got a
10 medicine
wand
check.
weapon.
And
Yeah. No, you don't even
And-
need that. You'll be able to stabilize them.
since I'm resistant to fire, I'm gonna start trying to like put out the fires and stuff like that.
I guess he'll pull out his horn
Try and take care.
and then realize he's never tried to use it and wouldn't know how to, and then make the sound of a horn. You know, to try to like alert the guard or something, so people come to put this fire out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like she'll first use her water skin to kind of douse some of the flames, and then like pat it out like using her hands and like any like she'll wet a tablecloth and try and get that to use that to beat the fires out.
Brilliant. And the fires, I was going to say, look, they're pretty devastating, right? Like, you're burning the curtains did not much. It was bad, but it was pretty much cosmetic. But the burning hands leveled 2/3 of the dining room, and a once beautiful setting has been almost destroyed. The only things that salvaged the grizzly bear, which was too far back to be burned, and ironically, our winter wolf pelt, which was out back, ready to be taxidermized. So all of the stag horns and the everything else is burned to a crisp.
I guess he'll like take like a drink on the table, like pour it on a cloth, like hand it to the countess and try to lead her outside if she's still around.
Yeah, she faints, and you're able to take her to some safe refuge.
Sort of maybe like just in the streets, like leaning against like the nearby building. That's not on fire.
All right, that's a great idea, and you do just that, and she remains safe. While the tavern keeper cries manly tears. All right.
I will apologize to him and hand him 50 gold.
All right. He looks down at it and he blubbers that this isn't even going to, be a tenth of what he's lost. But he's.
Well, perhaps there is something that that arsonist had that might make up for it.
So he was planning on burning down your whole place, so
Yeah,
at least you have something left.
Well,
like we stopped
make a
him.
good point.
And
You
did
make a
try to
good point.
go
Yep.
for his component pouch and whatnot, but alas. If it was
Yep.
athletics, I would have been able to do it, but it's only sleight of hand, and I got no modifier to that.
I shall deposit his equipment so that we can finish it up, and I will get going. Got an appointment pretty soon. But it's quite a haul. You'll notice perhaps that the last object is called the Notes on the Goblin Fort. I will also provide them. And I shall put myself on mute to keep listening in and get myself ready for the next thing that's happening today. I shall see you all soon, everyone, and look forward to seeing you next week.
All right. Do we get to? Are we going to get a chance to rest? Yes.
Indeed. It's about time.
Yay.
Well, we're leveling
We
up. Is
didn't
that what you said?
TPK.
Yeah, get a level. It's about time. Should be
No
level.
player deaths either. That's
That's a new record.
New
it's
record.
like I've got like this last time we leveled up like counter.
See you soon.
Take it.
Well, I guess say goodbye to the internet then.
Goodbye.
Goodbye,
Internet.
internet.
Goodbye internet.